We have qualifying starting any time till hopefully about 5 o'clock, but we've got over 125 cars registered to race today. We're going to do as quick work as we can. We'll start with one car on course for now and see how's it going. Nick, thumbs up, buddy. See right behind him another Jimmy's teammate, Jason Blanton. Everything's looking good. He does have a co-driver. Most people have opted to run just the driver in this race. It's a short course, but qualifying does play into this extremely heavy because you want to qualify well because it is a physical finish race. So to qualify up front means you start up front in the heats, and then the heats will get you into the mains, and that's where the big fun is to get this year's #1 spot. It's going to be a lot of fun. Last year it was Levi Shirley that took the Metalcloak Stampede. We'll see who it is this year. A lot of heavy hitters. We are running the 4900 Can-Am UTV class, the 48 G2 Legends class, the 4600 Pro Comp Stock class, and the 4500 Rubicon Express Modified class. So there's Casey Shear right here. He was last year's winner in the 4900 UTV class. And things looking good. I saw him this morning changing some rear hums. Get another thumbs up from him. Everything's looking good. I see Phil Caliero over there. Glad to see him here. Matt Howell's back in the line. Casey Shear's really pumped to get that Can-Am on the top of the box. He's had a great showing here recently. So again, sorry for a little bit of delay, but remember, we're out here in the middle of nowhere just trying to get everything done. We have to bring our own electricity out here. So we are having some technical difficulties, but we're trying to do the best we can. The coverage has been great. We have 7 or 8 cameras on the course. We've got our live drone we'll be bringing into you off and on. So it looks like we have our first car on course. I believe we just saw Jason Waits out on course, and he was our first qualifier for today's KMC Hard Charger. And again, KMC will reimburse the top spot in each class for their entry fee. Pretty cool to see KMC step up the way they have all season long.
Well, Miles, as our first driver crosses the line in qualifying, completes the one lap. Each driver is getting one chance. That's it. Load the gun for that one barrel. And Jason Waits, his lap time is 2:13.5. 2:13.5 is Jason Waits' qualifying lap. And boy, oh boy, I don't know if you heard them in the background, but car on the track right now just taking the green flag for one lap of qualifying. As man, you can see right there on camera how some of these cars are just kicking up that huge dust roost. Our drone camera angle found the cars around the course. Little squirrely coming out of the corner. And he goes around. Let's see, just go all the way around. Over-rotated most definitely coming into the corner, but is able to get back underway.
Well, Scott, I'm glad to see you back here. Again, I'm Miles Hasselquist alongside with Scott Rain. You took a little bit of hiatus. It looks like you took a little tumble with your foot. Glad to see you back out in action,
yeah,
man.
I appreciate it, Miles. This happened like the week before King of the Hammers, and I'm just now getting out of the house now. So, yeah, it's great to be back and see so many smiling faces. And Shannon, thank you so much for bringing me on board once again and working with Miles, as it looks like we have mechanical issues on the track right now with our second qualifier. Not quite able to find out or see who the driver is. Not able to pick up the number. But Miles, I mean, let's talk about first off these track conditions. I mean, it's even though it's only qualifying, it's only one car on the track at a time. This wind has got to be affecting these guys.
They watered the track all night long and had it great, but it has been definitely going to play a factor. But like you said, with only one car on the track at a time, it should be okay today, but it will be a definite issue during tomorrow's race. But we do have a lot of high winds today, which is a racer's friend compared to, you know, just the saltiness of no wind and the dirt just hanging in there. At least the wind will help to blow it through. Yeah, the wind will take care of the dust being blown off the track. But I'm thinking some of these jumps, like probably two in particular, they're getting so much air that if they catch the wind just the right way, it's going to move these cars sideways. Where they take off, and the wind will pick them up and kind of move them sideways when they land, probably 4 to 6 feet or so off to the side from where they took off. So let's see, 44. Is that 58, I believe? It is 44.88.
44.88. I believe I'm hearing that might be Larry Gibson, but man, when he took off from that starting line, that thing sounded really badass. I mean, just screaming from that green flag. It looks like next in line is the guy you just talked to a moment ago, Lauren Healy, I believe.
He's in line. He's a couple cars back. It looks like it is the AMSOIL Brad Level up next. You know him pretty well from your torque experience there, Scott.
Yeah, I have. I can't help but think that car, Brad Levels, is probably older than some of our competitors here this weekend.
I don't know which one's the drone. There's 4 lines plugged into my machine too.
Yep, there's Brad Level right there in the AMSOIL entry.
That same car has raced with the Ultra 4 King of the Hammers for 8 to 10 years probably. It's really put through the paces. Brad Level's a great competitor.
And that car's raced so many different kinds of, he's raced in the desert, the Mint 400, raced down in Baja. Nothing to do with Ultra 4, but boy, it's been racing all over the place. Nice shot of the facility here in the racetrack in general from our drone, and they're going right back to Brad Level on the track.
And that's back in the part of the track we can't quite see from here directly, but you can see about 80% of this course from any spot out here in Prairie City. It's really cool to see. But Brad Level's making a great run out there. It looks like it's still Jason Waits with a 2:13.5 as our fastest and only qualifier for today for the KMC Hard Charger Award. Again, there is the top spot in each class will be reimbursed by KMC on their entry fee. So thank you again, KMC, for stepping up every race this season. We just got done with Pennsylvania. A huge success, a lot of fun. I really enjoyed myself out there. And Brad Lovell's still kicking up dust. And up next, I believe, is going to be Cody Addington, just taking off right now. That he is in the Red Dragon. He bought that car last night from Lauren Healy as he launches over the Metalcloak jump. This is our first race in the Western Laser Nut Series, so a huge shout out to Laser Nut for stepping up to sponsor the whole Western Series, and they're making trophies for every single race. So again, thanks again, Laser Nut. Cody Wagner will be out here racing. So it looks like Brad Lovell just came across the Metalcloak start-finish line. And we should see Cody Addington right there in the Red Dragon, getting a little squirrely in that roller rhythm section. It's really cool to see. Remember, I can't remember, probably 8 years ago, he raced the EMC in a stock Toyota, and then Dave let him enter the King of the Hammers race, and he unofficially finished in a stock Toyota for the King of the Hammers. And then he bought a Dan Trout built machine, raced it for quite a few years, sold it recently, still had the bug, wanted to move into the IFS game, and just bought the Red Dragon from Lauren Healy. Super, super cool to see. You know, he started with nothing, with a trail rig, and has made it all the way into the biggest, one of the most winningest cars in our series. So Shannon Welch is working with us. She helped me out in Pennsylvania a lot. She's a lot of the information that I get in my ears is from Shannon, so she's a huge help. She's the one that calls a lot of the shots. She's Dave's right-hand lady. Shannon, thanks for all the help.
Hey Miles, it's good to be out here with you and Scott today. So Brad Lovell came in with a time of 2:19.2. Now those are in different classes. We only have two so far. Jason Waits with a 2:13 and Brad Lovell with a 2:19. We'll have Cody Addington's time any minute here. I just wanted to tell you, oh, there we go. Our first sub 2 minute, 1:57.66 is what I'm hearing upstairs. It comes up as 1:57.5 on our screen, but that puts Cody in the lead. Not bad for his first go in the Red Dragon. But yeah, I wanted to tell you about him calling me and telling me, hey Shannon, I'm racing. I'm like, Cody, you sold your car. He's like, I did. And I bought, and Shannon, I just don't even know. He's like, all right, I'm going to tell you. He's like, I bought Red Dragon. I'm like, you did? He's like, yeah. He sounded like he just had a baby, and he didn't know he was about to have a baby. It was kind of, it was a pretty awesome call. He couldn't stop saying enough good things about Lauren Healy. He's like, Lauren is a stand-up guy. Lauren wanted me to have this car, the most winning car in Ultra 4. Going to a guy who's earned his stripes is probably my favorite Ultra 4 feel-good moment of the season so far. And it was a cool day, and it brought a warm fuzzy to me. So hopefully you guys at home find that pretty cool as well.
And for his first seat time in qualifying, he does set the fastest lap with a 1:57.
Wow, look at Lauren, man. He is screaming around this racetrack. I don't mean to interrupt you, but boy, as we're watching this action.
Look at that. He completely launches the rock section, smokes the left front.
Yeah,
he must have done some
left
suspension.
Front. He broke that left front, if not the entire front end. He's dragging right now.
I was talking to him earlier after practice. He said this car's fast, but he might be nervous of the Red Dragon. He was going to be extremely upset if Cody beat him. And
well, it looks like that's going to happen.
Lauren took himself out. Hopefully he can get that thing fixed. The left front's pretty hurt on his new two-seat Jimmy's chassis. So tough break for Lauren. He was pushing a little too hard. He simped it really huge back there on that big jump. He's getting out, trying to check out what's going on. He's going to be extremely upset. He's got a long night ahead of him.
Yeah, this track has not been too kind to Lauren Healy over the years. He's so aggressive. It's almost to a point in certain areas of this racetrack, it's faster to be slower, but that's not in the formula of Lauren Healy.
And he launched off the MBRP jump when he completely cleared it. And then in the Metalcloak rock section, he skipped the rock section and then blew the left front. I believe that is Andrew McLaughlin. Earlier in practice, he was the first one to hit that jump, and the jump wasn't quite set up right, and it donkey kicked him, almost went head over heels. He took a pretty good ride. He said he wished he wouldn't have hit it that hard. They fixed the jump, and it's pretty good. The track maintenance guys have been working extremely hard today, but it's going to be hard to keep up with this dust.
You know, Miles, I just can't help but think that the shot guys are going to be a little extra busy here this afternoon and tonight getting ready for tomorrow, that you wouldn't think that a track that's this wide open and so flat in areas that is shock sensitive, but watching some of these cars and how they handle the jumps, how they handle the rocks, oh, it definitely is. So I can't help but think that the shot guys are going to be real busy.
I was talking to Uribe. He's the main King shock tuner earlier. He's hanging out with the Gomez brothers, and they're doing some little last tweaks. But like you said, he's going to have a busy night ahead of him doing some final tweaks. But Andrew McLaughlin with Let's Roll Off-Road. He's heavily sponsored by ESOB. ESOB is on site, ready to help whoever weld anything up. So they may be helping Lauren Healy tonight. We'll see. But there again, you want to push hard and start up front, but not overdrive and start at the back like Lauren Healy's going to have to do. Because during this qualifier, it is a one shot only. One shot, one lap. All you get for qualifying.
We should also mention that this is going to be the starting order is going to be not like a timed start. It's going to be everybody at one time, one green flag. So the first one across the checkered flag will be the winner. It's not going to be time staggered.
So Andrew McLaughlin still on course, looking smooth. So today's KMC Hard Charger Award, still up front is Cody Addington in the Red Dragon with a 157. Looks like that's Nick Nelson on screen, number 40. That's another brand new Jimmy's car, almost identical to Lauren Healy's. So I'm sure he's got his spotters upstairs talking to him. Every vehicle on course does have a spotter for safety. So they're saying, hey, in that back section, Lauren just overlaunched that, smoked his left front, so take it a little easy. Because again, to finish first you must finish. And following Nick Nelson should be the 966 of Jason Blanton, another brand new IFS chassis. So we do have two on course at a time. And Jason Blanton has a huge horsepower big block. It's crazy to hear.
Yeah, just hearing these cars that come off that line, taking that green flag, you can tell right away who's got the horsepower. There's no defining, well, that could be, maybe, maybe not. No, there's definitely, you can tell.
And Nick Nelson still on course, looking fast. He still has a trophy truck back home he runs. Look at him just completely sideways, drifting around, making it to the Metalcloak start-finish line. We should get his time here very soon.
And looks like we've got Nick Nelson 153.6.
So just under 4 seconds faster than Cody Addington. So Nick Nelson is in our #1 spot for the KMC Hard Charger Award.
Yeah, if you're going to throw down a fast lap, I think this afternoon, probably the next, 10 to 15 minutes is probably the ideal track conditions you're going to have. Otherwise, I think with it drying out as much as it is, you're going to have some blue grooves starting to form, some sliding around. And so if you're like in the next, say, 5, 6, 7 cars in line, I think you're going to be doing pretty good.
And there will be no track maintenance from when it starts to when it finishes unless it becomes a safety issue. You see Jason Blanton getting in that little blue groove, like you're saying, getting a little loose, sliding off that berm.
Yeah, look at how that car's handling those jumps. Nice rebound, kind of nice landing, the way that car just The suspension drops out through the air, kind of just like a big spider legs, just kind of just dropping down. Nice soft landing.
He's heading into the Cloak Works rock section. Jason Blanton making good work with that IFS Jimmy's chassis. That's a fairly new car. He's done a lot of video stuff. He raced King of the Hammers in it.
Look at picking up that left front tire through the corner like a sprint car.
And that's cool to see some of our NorCal. They're just getting blasted. Sorry, Mario.
Say bye-bye to that camera. Time to beat is a 153.6.
Jason Blanton comes in with a 159, so 2 seconds off of Cody Addington. So number 1, 2, 3 is Team Jimmy's as of right now. So it looks like up next was last year's Metalcloak Stampede winner, Casey Shear, in his Can-Am for the 4900 class in the UTV. He's been extremely successful in the Ultra 4 series.
You know, Miles, also we got to let the fans at home know that the wind is definitely picking up from what we're hearing this afternoon, that we can expect upwards of 50-mile-an-hour gusts at times during this afternoon. So the guys really, in a good way, the dust is definitely being blown off the course when they go by, but in a bad way, it's really going to affect them, I think, with dust being kicked up on its own.
So again, everybody back home, please tune in, share this on Facebook, Instagram. You can watch it on YouTube. The best place to go is ultra4racing.com/live. Share it with your friends. Today is qualifying for the KMC Hard Charger Award, but that leads into tomorrow's 2018 Metalcloak Stampede right here in Prairie City at the SVRA, just outside of Rancho Cordova, California. About 45 minutes out of Sacramento here in northern California. It's a beautiful day. The wind is blowing, but it's probably 80 degrees and sunny. Sounds like up next should be Sean Rance. In the 45-31, part of the Rubicon Express modified class. There's Casey Shear in the Metalcloak rock section. How cool is that live drone out there? Again, the wind is so hard. The internet's a little spotty from here to here, but these guys are running their tail off. The behind the scenes for the Hammer King production crew does an absolute amazing job. I mean, you hear myself and Scott rambling all day long, but that's the easy part compared to what these guys are doing, chasing down wires and all this jazz. Is pretty cool to be able to put this together and bring it to you guys live, as well as later on this summer/fall will be on NBC Sports again. We should have roughly 12 episodes.
It amazes me right now with the windy conditions. I mean, we tried to describe it to the fans at home watching how windy it is, but you look at those drone shots and how steady that camera is, how steady that drone is. The technology that translates through camera work is just crazy.
Yeah, speaking about the drone, we had that in Pennsylvania last week, and it was really cool to see how far out it could actually reach. So here on a short course, you can see absolutely everything, and there's very little telephone wires over the main course to get tangled up in. So that live drone will be extremely fun to tune into off and on all day racing. So the 2018 Metalcloak Stampede is underway for the KMC qualifier.
Well, slightly off course. They're way off course now. Trying to see if there's...
Sean Rance is having a little bit of issue, but gets back on course.
Sean Rance was the Ultra 4 Racing Sportsman of the Year in 2017.
And again, we got to give a huge shout out to Jeep for being on the scene. We got the JL Ultra 4. Actually, Gerald Lee with Savvy let us borrow his brand new JL for safety crew this weekend, so cool to see that Jeep out here. Laser Nut is our official sponsor for the Western Series. Nitto is on site with their hauler. Renegade Fuel is here. There's Phil Caliero in his Polaris Razor, running the 4900 Can-Am class.
And Sean Rance crosses the line after his qualifying lap. The 45.31 will time out at a 2:21.6. 2:21.6 for Sean Rance.
Phil Caliero was a heavy hitter last year and the whole season. He did a great job. His brother John Caliero has raced with us for quite a while, but he has slowed down a little bit and picked up working, so I saw his car for sale. But Phil's really launching through the KMC kicker section back there. As he enters the Metalcloak rock section, straight into the Cloakwork rock section. And you saw Lauren Healy earlier on the Metalcloak section blow out his left front, so that was a tough break. Hopefully he can get his car back in action.
There's a good visual of how windy it is. You see the flags off in the background just almost tipping over about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Standing all these flags up on end.
So that is the 1966 George Lisenberry and his 4900 machine. And I believe I just heard Matt Howell, the number 4510, take off. Part of the Tribe 16 machine with Adam Shear riding shotgun.
Yeah, there's going to be some crazy racing action come tomorrow afternoon in all these different classes. I can't help but think that there's going to be a lot of bonsai moves, we'll call it, before they enter into these rock sections and in some of these jump areas. I mean, these cars, there's not a whole lot of passing opportunity.
So you see the Hammer King production crew alongside the NorCal racing crew attending to Matt Howell's car. Looks like there may be a little bit of fire, but the crew is on it quick, making sure everybody's safe and sound.
Looks like JT even in on the action. I think that's him right there.
I can tell by the bald head, that's definitely JT.
Just so, JT, if you look at this later on, that was Miles that said that, not me.
We can hug it out later.
So there's a little break in the action right now as they're taking care of the issue up there on the track.
We see Texas Jesus hot on scene.
So it definitely looks like the fire's out, not a problem there. Hood going back on. Whether you can drive back to the pits or not will remain to seen. But everything looks to be okay out on the course as of right now.
So we are right in the middle of the 2018 Metalcloak Stampede that today is qualifying for the KMC Hard Charger Award. We are at the Prairie City SVRA, just outside of Rancho, California. So Brian Barrend is on course right now. And up next is Bailey Cole, the 4854 in his G2 Legends class, but he put the bigger tires on and is running in the 4400 class. So it's pretty cool to see that Trent Fab machine step up a class and run hard. He's going to do that for the entire Western Laser Nut Series. So we're watching Brian Barrend right there, part of the 4600 Pro Comp stock class. We'll see a lot of Jeep-based machines in this class. A lot of these guys, or a lot of these vehicles started out as just daily drivers.
You know, Miles, as we work our way through the field and qualifying here this afternoon, kind of what have you noticed that's been happening here this 2018 season? Who's been kind of standing out as the one to watch as we kind of enter into close to our midway point of the season?
Well, we've had King of the Hammers, and then we went to Shamokin, Pennsylvania, and now we're here at the Metalcloak Stampede. So this is only the third race of the season, and there's already been a lot of fast guys, a lot of carnage. I'm excited to watch Cody Addington in that brand new car. Obviously, Nick Nelson is on the pole so far with a 153. There's quite a few of the big names that missed the Pennsylvania race just due to timing and whatnot. So Levi Shirley, last year's winner here at the Stampede, has yet to come. We're missing Eric Miller, Josh, and Rusty Blyler. They just won the showdown in Shamokin, Pennsylvania. As you can hear, the 8-into-1 headers, that is Bailey Cole. Very distinct sound. Shannon Campbell used to run a very similar setup. I love the sound of those 8-into-1 headers.
Miles, you just love the sound of headers, that's all. It could be 1-into-8, 8-into-1, no matter, man.
And there's Bailey Cole in the Trent Fab machine. Last year in the 4800 G2 class, he pushed real hard all the way in and ended up winning out here.
He's got a little bit of a kick in the back of his car. It's kind of kicking him up in the air on takeoff of these jumps. So there might be some adjustment needs to be had there. There's our lineup of cars in staging for qualifying. It just goes on and on and on as we're going to be out here for quite a while. Is every single vehicle here this weekend is got to run a qualifying lap. Well, it doesn't have to, but will be running a qualifying lap.
We've got over 125 registered race cars for this weekend's Metalcloak Stampede. So we'll be running a couple at a time on course. Try to get everybody running through. The 4409 Matthew McCowan is on course, but we're still watching Bailey Cole in the Metalcloak rock section. Heading into the Cloakwork rock section. It's a little down rock into an up rock.
Making it look almost too easy through both sections. He hasn't been overly fast, but he's been very, very steady, and very consistent.
And again, that's a 4800 G2 Legends class stepping into the 4400 Unlimited Nitto class.
Bailey Cole across the line, 206.9. 206.9 for Bailey Cole.
So that puts him unofficially in 5th place as of now, but there's still a lot of fast guys to come. But Nick Nelson still has the fast time of a 1:53. Hey, Scott, do you think that time's going to be beat? I believe we're going to be in that 1:40, 1:49 section, if I had to take a guess.
Yeah, I'm going to ask you, who do you think is going to be breaking that? You made the call it was going to be broke. Who do you think it's going to be?
Lauren Healy had a smoke and run. He was going to be sub that, but he's out. We still have Waylon Campbell, Shannon Campbell, Levi Shirley. I'm going to say one of those three guys are going to be sub-minute 50s.
Well, I kind of like the idea of one of the Gomez boys. This is their track. I mean, nobody's got more laps on this facility than those two. I should say that whole family.
They've got
and their driving style is very conducive to, well, not having anybody around them. They're so aggressive on the track. Qualifying is pretty much their specialty, I can't help but think.
You're 100% correct on that, Scott. You can never count the Gomez brothers out. They have a make-it-break-it driving style. They race at this course a lot because it's right in their backyard. They're literally 30 minutes. Their home base is 30 minutes from here. Joe Thompson has 4 of his almost identical UFO machines out here running. So it'll be very interesting to see with all the lap time they do have here.
Probably one of the biggest names in our sport that won't be running here this weekend, which you and I were talking about earlier, which really caught me by surprise. And I'm not sure when it happened or how it happened, but Jason Shearer.
Yeah, Jason Shearer, it sounded like he had motor issues, so he will not be able to make it here, but I think we will have a little guest appearance with him tomorrow, I hope. And it looks like Matthew McCowan did a 2:09.4, so that currently puts him in that 7th position. And again, we are shooting for the KMC Hard Charger Award. There is 1 per class. And they will reimburse the entry fee for all 5 classes.
Yeah, and that screenshot right there, you can expect the left side of that hill just packed with people here tomorrow afternoon.
This is a very spectator-friendly, very family-friendly. Bring an easy up, bring some lawn chairs, bring a cooler. It's going to be a long, hot, fun day of racing. Like I said, if you're anywhere in the Sacramento area, it's not a bad drive to get out here. I would highly recommend it. But if you can't make it, stay tuned in all weekend long. We'll be live with you. Again, I'm Miles Hasquist alongside Scott Rain. We have Shannon Welsh.
The boss. That just amazes me how windy it is, and that drone is so steady up there.
So we do have Renegade Race Fuel on site. They do deliver fuel to every single race. So if you pre-order, it's already here for you. Just go pick it up. It's extremely handy, and the stuff smells great.
So Miles, you've talked about how much you love the 8-in-1 sound of headers, how much you love the smell of Renegade fuel. I'm just going to wait for what you're going to have to say, what you like to taste the most here.
I love a little bit of everything when it comes into off-road racing. So right now, the top 3 in the 4400 Unlimited Nitto class is Nick Nelson with a 153.6, Cody Addington in his brand new to him Red Dragon with a 157.5, and Jason Blanton with a 159.2. So all 3 are Jimmy's car, all 3 are IFS. Number 4 is Andrew McLaughlin with a 201. Number 5 is Bailey Cole, our first straight axle with a 206.
Hey Miles, I'm going to throw this out there with Cody Addington and a brand new car. What if Lauren Healy needs a certain part, can only be found on the old car? What if a deal had to be struck tonight? Do you think there'd be some cannibalizing going on?
Cody bought the car, and to be completely honest, Nick Nelson's car is an identical twin to it, so who knows what'll happen. They bring spare parts. Jimmy's here hot and heavy. They've got spares, I'm sure. And again, thank you for everybody tuning in. Make sure to share on social media. The best way to find us live is www.ultra4racing.com/live. Go to Facebook, go to Instagram. It's on our YouTube channel. Today's qualifying for the KMC Hard Charger, but tomorrow is the 2018 Metalcloak Stampede.
You know, that camera we're looking at right now is actually a static camera mounted to the back of the building, looking at the pit area. And look how that camera is moving around compared to the drone camera, so steady up in the middle of the air.
So the next car that just took off is Phil Blurton, the number 944, and another Trent Fab machine.
If you're watching Phil out on the course right now, Miles, I got to ask you, how long have you been a fan? I mean, first and foremost, you're like the mega fan of Ultra 4 racing, but how long have you been a fan of off-road?
I helped my buddy Wyatt Pemberton in the triple nickel racing back in the XRRA days before Ultra 4 was even around, and then we kind of lucked in and kind of got a spot for King of the Hammers in 09, so I went and pit crewed 9, 10, and 11, and then got invited to the live show starting in 12, and have been with you guys ever since. It's a lot of fun, and like you said, I'm just a fan. This is just a hobby of mine I enjoy doing, and I've been invited the whole season. It's a great time. I've worked with you quite a few years now, Scott. It's like I said, it's just a great time being out here, smelling the fuels, listening to the headers, watching these guys launch the MBRP jump out back.
Now imagine all these vehicles, all these classes on the race course tomorrow. Again, this is not going to be a staggered start tomorrow by time. They're going to be throwing the green flag, and there's, what, 20 cars in the class? All 20 be taking the green flag at the same time.
It'll be a rolling start, and it will be a physical finish. We'll have a few heats to go into the main race for tomorrow's Metalcloak Stampede. So Phil Blurton still on course in his Trent Fab solid axle machine, the number 944. So apparently I got a little bit of bad information here. I'm a little off on what's going on. I do apologize. We're doing the best we can to keep everything honest. There's Phil Blurton. I do apologize. He's in the Can-Am.
Let's talk about the Can-Ams. Casey Shear is sitting 6th overall right now with the Can-Am.
So this is the 4900 Can-Am UTV class, and Casey Shear is overall sitting in 6th place with a 208. So these Can-Ams on this short course are really flying. So we should see Phil Blurton coming over that MBRP launch jump as we speak from the live drone.
You know, we talk about these Can-Ams, and this is just off that jump right there. The second time now, it is so windy that these Can-Ams, or just say UTVs, are actually being blown sideways, so they're landing probably, if you're looking at a clock, like say 2 o'clock sideways when they land. So they're getting moved around in the air out there.
Wind will definitely play a factor today, and even more so tomorrow if it's here. But there again, we like wind for the dust.
The 223 of Shane Smith on deck, ready to take the green flag for his 1 lap of qualifying here this afternoon. Let's see, yeah. Yeah, these Can-Ams are very fast cars, Miles. Last year during the Torque Series, more than a few stops we've been to, the Can-Ams in the Pro UTV division were running lap times just a tick under a second behind what Pro Lights were running. And they are really, really some stout machines.
It's incredible what these UTVs can do. I dabble in the UTV racing back home. I have a Polaris Razor, and they're a lot of fun. They're extremely nimble, and they are built a lot like a Ultra 4 4400 car with the IFS front, the trailing arm rear. But these Can-Ams are really throwing down some great times. So we are right in the middle of qualifying for the KMC Hard Charger Award for tomorrow's 2018 Metalcloak Stampede here at Prairie City SVRA.
Shane Smith on the course right now in the 223.
This is the first race for the Lasernut Western Series. Up next will be our East meets West Holly Clash at the Crossbars in Davis, Oklahoma. If you remember that race last year, Scott, you were there. I missed out. There was tornadoes, torrential downpour that flooded, so let's hope to not repeat that next month.
Yeah, it was a wild, wild weekend. I think 3 times during the night on Friday night, we were told, banging on the doors by the hotel staff, get to the stairwell, and everybody in the whole hotel was hiding out in the stairwell during the night. But Mother Nature is kind of kicking us a little bit right now. Not only the racers on the course right now dealing with the heavy winds, a little bit of the dust, but technologically speaking as well. So we lost our computer screen here. We're working hard to get it back up so we can keep you updated with all the lap times.
So thank you for staying patient with us. We're doing the best we can, but the wind is so hard. A few of our cell towers have blown over, and it's, you know, we're fighting through it. Everything's going to work out okay, but the qualifying is hot and heavy.
So we got our screen back up. We lost all the times of our entire field that is qualified except one, Shane Smith, who just crossed the line with a 222.3. 222.3 for Shane Smith as he just crossed the line just now.
And we have 5 different classes. We have the 4600 Pro Comp Stock class, the 4500 Rubicon Express Modified class, the 4800 G2 Legends class, the 4900 UTV Can-Am class, and then the Unlimited Big Boys, the 4400 Unlimited Nitto class. So that's Beverly Croy, one of our female racers. Cool to see her out here in that Jeep.
Oh, our screen is back. Our top 5 right now, as we're watching a couple of cars in the course qualify. Top 5, Justin Bohr in the 2972 is the 5th quick right now, the 205.5. Andrew McLaughlin with a 201.8 to his 4th. Sitting at 3rd spot, 3rd quick, Jason Blanton with a 159.2. 2nd is Cody Addington with a 157.5. And Nick Nelson still holding up with the time to view, the 153.6. And Miles, I can't help but think right now that times will be starting to slow down a little bit, even with the fast cars coming up, that the track conditions are getting pretty skatey out there.
The little top dust section is starting to blow off the side. Like you said, there'll be some blue grooving. There's still going to be some fast guys to come, though. Like you said, we have the Gomez brothers We still have Levi Shirley, all the Campbells, Bailey Campbell in that brand new 2-seat IFS. I crawled all over that this morning. It's a work of art. I can't believe that thing's probably over $300,000 if you have to build that car.
Speaking of which, I was kind of taking my time this morning back in the hotel room thinking I was giving you a ride to the to the racetrack this morning, so it's about 7:10, 7 o'clock or so, and I just happened to glance at Facebook, and you're already at the track taking pictures of yourself next to Bailey's car.
That car's cool. I was crawling underneath it, on top of it. Shannon kind of showed me the things he swapped up. He's used a little bit similar to his own car and Brian Caprera's 2-seat he built recently. Campbell builds one heck of a chassis. And speaking about that, the Fab School Manufacturing Cup, after the showdown in Shamokin, Miller is in first place and Campbell is in second. But Campbell has 4 cars actually racing today, and Miller, I haven't seen a single Miller chassis. So it'll be cool to see how that shakes things up for the Fab School Manufacturing Cup. And I see one of the first Gomez brothers getting on the line of JP, the 4482. JP Gomez, part of Gomez Brothers Racing. He was probably one of the quickest guys I saw this morning in practice. He was absolutely sending it back there at the MBRP launch jump. So it'll be interesting to see how hard he pushes. Because we saw earlier Lauren Healy push too hard, and now he's going to have to start from the back of the pack.
Talking to JP at lunch this afternoon, and talking to a couple of his guys, and you know, if we look forward in the 2018 season to the first time ever these guys are going to Crandon, Wisconsin, part of the Labor Day World Championship weekend, and they were giving me the once over. What can I expect? What should we do? That kind of thing. It's like, well, bring a really, really, really heavy right foot, because there won't be a whole lot of lifting going on at that racetrack. But yeah, that's the final stop of the Triple Crown you were talking about. And Miles, you're going to be in for a treat, man. That is a world-class facility. If you're any kind of off-road race fan of any kind, I don't care if it's desert, Dakar, whatever it may be, you got to go to Crane at least once in your life.
So this just in, Justin Bohr, he's overall 5th place in a UTV, but first in his class, just bumped out Casey Shearer. He's got 3 seconds over Casey Shearer, so Justin Bohr, overall 5th place, just bumped out Bailey Cole in his 4400 car. So those UTVs are really flying around this course out here at the Prairie City SVRA.
You know, you think this is a situation where the horsepower is basically burning the tires off on some of these corners, and it's the, I don't want to say it, but lower horsepower UTVs that just getting all that traction.
And remember, smooth is fast, and there's JP Gomez right there. I'm really excited to see this guy qualify. He's going to be absolutely flying all the way to the Metalcloak start-finish line. And this is the KMC Hard Charger Award. And speaking of KMC, they are our title sponsor once again for the Battle in the Bluegrass in Kentucky in July. So another huge shout out to KMC Wheels for being such a great support for our Ultra 4. This is the Metalcloak Stampede, the first Western Series for the Laser Nut. Laser Nut is also building all the trophies for every single race this season. And JP's a little loose, but keeping her straight, and he's going to have a great run. He could bump out Nick Nelson. It's going to be very close.
Oh, that must have been pavement right there. He just ran across that rock section. It looked like he just drove across the parking lot. Absolutely smooth, not a problem. And you nailed it, Miles. He's going to have a big time lap time coming around here.
So JP just finished.
Well, here's what we have for qualifying for JP Gomez. Remember, the time to beat is a 1:53.6 by Nick Nelson. JP Gomez does not quite do it. 1:54.1.
So a
currently
half
second. Yeah.
A half a second off the pace. Great run by JP Gomez, but Nick Nelson still has the top spot, and that just goes to show you IFS is going to be a huge advantage in this weekend's racing. I was talking to Cody earlier, like I said, Cody Addington, he's brand new in that red Dragon. He got done practicing this morning with all smiles. I walked up, what do you think? He said, this is cheating. You guys, and he was talking to Lauren Healy. He's like, you guys have been cheating a long time. So Dennis Lapp, part of our 4800 G2 class, is on course. And right behind him is going to be Paul Horschel. He just won the Mint 400 part of the Triple Crown. I was talking to him. He redesigned his front end, and at King of the Hammers, if you don't remember, he was leading a lot of that race. He was our top qualifier for the KMC Hard Charger War at King of the Hammers. Got that top spot. So Paul Horschel will be pushing hard. Another IFS machine. But on course, it's Dennis Lapp, the 4840.
Rick Waterbury crosses the line, completing his one lap of qualifying in a 158.7, currently fourth quick.
So that's our first straight axle that made the top 5. And in practice, he took a pretty good tumble in this car. I went up and talked to him while we were eating lunch, and he said the car's fine, a little bit of cosmetic, but he just got into that little section, and right after he wiped out in it, they did go back with the dozer and smooth it out a little bit. So Rick Waterbury throwing down a great time of a 158.7. And I don't know if you guys can hear it, but Scott, we definitely just heard Paul Horschel, number 19 in his 4400 machine, take off hard.
Yeah, Horschel's been getting fast the last year and a half or so. He's really been stepping up his program, and he's due for a top spot really soon.
Like I said, he was leading King of the Hammers for quite a while until he over in his single seat machine, so that takes a lot of recovery time. He just won the Mint 400 in the 4400 class. So there's Paul Horschel on screen. Lots of horsepower. I was speaking about horsepower. He said this is a trophy truck machine, or a trophy truck motor. He's got over 800 horsepower and torque in that thing. So Paul Horschel's definitely be pushing hard. Be cool to see.
Dennis Lapp crosses the line, the 4840, the 212.4. 212.4, currently 11th quick for Dennis Lapp.
And what a cool shot that is, seeing that suspension travel. That IFS up front, number 19, Paul Horschel. Getting ready to hit the MBRP launch jump. We'll see how far he sends it.
Going back to our lap times in qualifying, Dennis Lapp just crossed the line, 11th overall with a 212.4, but currently the fastest lap time in 4800, so keep an eye on him.
So there's Paul Horschel skipping down the Metalcloak rock section, going into the Cloakworks rock section. We saw a boulder flying through, so these rocks are starting to change, and I can see the blue groove right there. So just like you were talking about, Scott, Paul Horschel on the gas all the way to the finish line. We'll see what kind of time he has. I'm sure it'll be a top 5.
Well, you were close. 7th quick. 202.3 for Paul Horschel. 202.3. 7th quick right now.
So Caleb Boschi, number 4613, part of the Pro Comp stock class in his Jeep Cherokee. And I saw you drove out with Savvy, his JL out here. What'd you think about that thing? Those things are pretty cool.
She posted online as she got it. I saw it because I was still at home. She goes, drive it like you stole it.
So We're fortunate we've got 2 KOH Jeeps now. We've got a 2017 JK and we've got a 2018 JL. And Dave gets to drive the JL, I get to drive the JK, and Gerald said, you should bring my JL up. He just put 48s in it. It's the first Rubicon to have 48s in it. Oh, Chris is in trouble. I want one of those. I really, really want one of those. I'm a Jeep girl. I've got a TJ and a JK in my driveway, and now I really, really, really want the JL.
Yeah, I saw that. It's pretty cool. Yeah, I've got a 2011 JK back at home. I take my girls out all the time, you know, playing in the creek. A Jeep's a great way to get out in the wilderness and see some stuff. Hey, there's nothing on it. Oh, shoot, okay. So I believe taking off as we speak is Cade Rod. And he was all over the place. I wonder if he had a little four-wheel drive transfer case issue. He did a quick stop, hopefully before the ticker started. But Cade Rod is going to be doing a little double duty this weekend. It's pretty cool to see. He's racing in the 4800 Legends class, and then Shane Chiddix called him up and said, hey, will you drive the car that your dad built for me? It's a 2S machine. So he's stepping in and doing double duty, racing for the 4400 class as well. So a great nod to Cade Rod, Shane Chiddix giving him the shot. I was talking to his dad, Randy Rod, that is Mr. Jimmy's, and he said he was a little bit nervous but more excited. He's proven he's a solid driver, and we're about to find out. Right now he's in his 4800 Legends car.
Miles, he's the one, if you remember, showed up to Pennsylvania just a couple of weeks ago. We went to put a wristband on him, and he had a band on. And we asked him, why do you have this white wristband on? And he said it's from King of the Hammers. And we said, you've been wearing this band since King of the Hammers? He's like, yeah, I didn't win at King of the Hammers. And this is a reminder every day of how bad I want to win, and it's not coming off till I win. And he came in second in Shamokin. I didn't check his hand here. I don't know if he still got that band on or not, but we'll see here.
I bet you it ain't white.
How cool is that, the dedication the Rod family has? Jimmy's 4x4 is a huge part of the Ultra 4 family. I'm sure Cotton Rod is watching her son home. She usually tunes in live. Randy's here on site. Looks like Cade slowed down once again. Earlier when he took off, it looked like he was having transfer case issues, so not sure what's going on. Looks like that's Alex Wacker, Twisted Monkey Racing. He has Josh England in the passenger side. That's a fairly new Tribe 16 built machine. IFS, lots of horsepower. Alex races a little bit of everything. He has a 6100 trophy truck, spec class. They race in the UTV, Can-Am. They've got a Can-Am part of that crew. Adam Shear builds some pretty cool machines. On screen, the number 50, Jeremy Brown, going through the Talladega style berm, the Nitto turn. Sounds like we have a DNF for Cade Rod. Like I said, it looked like he was having transfer case issues, so tough break for him. And remember, it is one shot only for today's KMC qualifier, so Cade Rod will be starting from the back of the pack in his 4800 G2 car, but that still gives him a shot when he drives Shane Chiddix's unlimited 4400 car. So Jeremy Brown, we're watching still on course. I just heard Alex Wacker take off. Scott, the KMC qualifier has been great so far. What do you think, buddy?
Yeah, it's kind of fun watching the different lines on these corners. The cameras are in the same spot throughout the course. So you get a chance to see the different lines all the drivers are taking. And specifically, I'm watching the rock sections. and you know they're going to be a fast lap time, obviously, if they get through those rock sections quickly. And the guys that be interested come to the first rock section, if they go wide, end up in the really bad side of the next rock section, and it slows them down a lot.
As we're watching on screen, that's Alex Wacker, Twisted Monkey Racing, and his Tribe 16 IFS machine. He's got his buddy Josh England riding shotgun with him. And remember, every person on course does have a spotter. That's, you know, for the short course stuff, it's for safety, so they can tell them what's going on around the next corner. Takes the KMC kicker jump right there.
Yeah, car looks like it's handling nice, landing nice. The thing just squats down real nice and soft. It comes back up, resets itself, and here's where it comes down in that rock section, nice and fast, sets up for that right-hand turn and goes way wide. That's what we're talking about. Going way wide to the left, but he climbs through it, not a problem. A lot of the guys have been going to that left side of that rock section, have been just getting all kinds of problems. This could be, he doesn't look really fast.
And that just goes to show you how loose that's getting, like you were talking. Up next, the number 33, Mike Bergman, and his UFO Joe Thompson built machine. That's very, very similar to the Gomez brothers. That's another IFS IRS machine, pretty cool to see. Speaking about IFS IRS, Cody Wagner, Mr. Laser Nut himself, is racing his first series race. He races King of the Hammers every year, but it's cool to see him step up and sponsor the whole Western Series and come out and race with us. It's a beautiful Armada built machine. Probably the highest dollar car out here.
Just a moment ago, crossing the line, Alex Wacker with his qualifying lap at 2:08.5. He's in the top 10, sitting in that 10th place. 10th quick for Alex Wacker.
So actually, trading with Miles here, actually that is Alex's buddy Andrew Walker. He's appointed him for this race, so he came out and he's racing that car. The reason for it, though, is Alex Wacker's wife is about to have their first baby, like this weekend in Texas. So Andrew was appointed series guy. They were kind of hoping, you can do that once a season. You can appoint a substitute driver once a season. So Andrew Walker is racing for Alex Wacker, because Alex, I'm sure, is at home chomping at the bit for both his first baby and to see how Andrew does in that car today.
He's live streaming on his cell phone, sitting in the hospital room in one hand, and Russ tell me with the other, it's okay, dear, it's okay, dear. Yeah.
Well, thank you, Shan, for straightening that up. I was unaware of that. I was over in their pit earlier. I didn't see him, but I just assumed he was out and about. But he's at home taking care of the families first. That's pretty cool. So Andrew Walker is his main mechanic, so that's cool to let him drive the car. So that was Dustin Sexton we just saw. Looks like he took the 23rd position with a 2:34. So Mike Bergman, hot on course. We saw him in Pennsylvania. He lost reverse, and Lucas Murphy teamed up to finish the race. It was pretty cool to see. But Mike Bergman and his UFO machine gets a little off course, it looked like. Came in a little bit too hot. We do lose him for just a little bit.
Looked like he started over-rotating a little bit going into the corner, whether he was able to save it or just had it pitched sideways and doing a nice little slide job. It's hard to tell because it went, like you said, Miles, it went off out of camera sight, but man, what a way to start the race looking that, or the qualifying lap looking that quick.
And that goes back towards the Holly EFI 180 turn. We lose him for roughly probably 30 seconds or so, and there we pick him back up. And the car still looks good, so a little bit off course, cost them, you know, less than 5 seconds hopefully, but Mike Bergman and that UFO still pushing hard all the way to the finish. So that car is very similar to Marcos Gomez, who is actually stuck in Canada right now, hoping to still make it. He had to do a little bit of work. One of the brothers has to work some of the time. Mike Bergman in the Metalcloak rock section. And that top little section heading to the Metalcloak start-finish line is, like you're saying, it's getting blue-grooved. It's getting really slick up there. We just saw Mario getting dusted out once again, part of our NorCal safety crew. He makes almost every single race. Great to see him out here.
Crossing the line just a moment ago, Mike Bergman in the 33 is in our top 10, currently sitting 8th quick with a 204.8. 204.8 for Mike Bergman, sitting 8th quick.
So a great run for him. Again, we still have a lot of fast guys to come. See Darren Hinkie in line, Eric Miramon, Cade Rod and Shane Chittick's machine. Haven't seen any of the Campbells yet. So again, the top 10, we have Bailey Cole with a 206. Justin Board, number 9 with a 205. Number 8, Mike Bergman with a 204. 7th place, Paul Horschel with a 202. 6th place, Andrew McLaughlin with a 201. 5th place, Jason Blanton, 159. 4th place, Rick Waterbury with a 158 in his straight axle. Number 3rd in the Red Dragon, Cody Addington, number 888 with a 157. Raul Gomez sitting in the 2nd spot with a 154, but our KMC hard charger so far today is the one and only Nick Nelson with a 153.6. That rounds out our top 10.
Crossing the line a moment ago is the number 34 of Jeff McKinley, 208.5, 208.5. Alex Wacker and Jeff McKinley are tied for the 11th and 12th qualifying spot, identical qualifying times.
So again, we do apologize for being a little bit behind on some of these calls, but with 2 cars on course at time, there's a lot going on. We're doing the best we can, but that's the 1944 on track right now. It is Greg Uffins. He's been racing with us in the Can-Am class for quite a few years. And we're going to try to make this run as smooth as we can. So far, nobody's taken a tumble, but we have over 125 cars registered to race in the 2018 Metalcloak Stampede tomorrow. But right now it is the KMC Hard Charger qualifying.
Yeah, well, I think there was a 6th year I was told that Mattson Brakey and the guys here from Metalcloak have been behind this event, so it's cool to see Mattson back here again.
Yeah, we worked with him a few times, so we'll get him up here on the mic either later today or tomorrow at some point.
He's another guy like you, man, walking an encyclopedia of knowledge of Ultra 4 racing. Both you guys together. I'll just take a break and let you guys talk for a while of all the stats and statistics and history of the sport, all the different cars, the chassis, the builders, drivers. Man, put you guys together and
yeah, he's another great person to add to our repertoire. He's one of the main guys behind Metalcloak. So again, thanks for Mattson for stepping up and helping support the Ultra 4 series, making the Stampede possible.
.46.93 on the course right now, having a little issue out on the course. fired back up again, back underway.
Well, Scott, I've got Nick Nelson up here with us. You're the KMC Hard Charger top guy as of right now. How'd it feel?
It's pretty good, man. This track's slick, and there's a lot of places to make a mistake, so we just want to make sure we have a good car ready for race day.
And did you get to see Lauren Healy's little mistake? It looked like he took out the left front. Have you seen the car since that happened?
Yeah, I had a nice front row seat for that, so I decided to try to not do that or do it better. So I think he can get it back together. I'm going to go up and see if he needs some help and see if we can get him going.
And you guys have very similar cars. You guys have almost identical cars out there, so it's pretty cool to see. You guys have a lot of spare parts, I'd assume.
Yeah, the new cars, we really haven't had time to put together stuff. We've been just trying to get them going and get them dialed in. So unfortunately, we don't have a whole new set of suspension for them, so we're going to try to just scab this back together and get them going.
Well, again, so far you are the KMC Hard Charger. They will reimburse your entry fee, so how cool is that to be a sponsored driver and get a little kickback?
Being from KMC, I'm sure they'd be happy with that, but we didn't really just go too hard, so there's definitely some time out there if somebody wants to go for it, but I'll be happy to take it and bring it home for my sponsors.
And you know, that's a fairly new car. It's cool to see you worked your tail off to get King of the Hammers, had a terrible, just a bad luck on a motor. Then you go to the Mint 400, you raced just a little bit and had a servo or something, simple, stupid brake.
Yeah, the engine was just error on, human error being put together. No excuses for that. And then I gave some parts to a friend of mine at Hammers. And he gave me brand new stuff. He just didn't decide to want to be put together. So we didn't even get a chance to really go far at the Mint. It was disappointing. And that's our hometown. We like to get to smash out in the desert. It's a great time. But this track's awesome. It's got a lot for the fans. So the car feels good. We put a bunch of time to make sure we don't have any stupid problems. So we'll see where we end up.
All right. Well, so far so good. Nick Nelson, always a pleasure, my man.
Thanks, brother. Appreciate it.
So this is the 2018 Metalcloak Stampede here at the Prairie City SVRA, just outside of Sacramento, California, about an hour and a half south of Reno. We'll be there in October for the Nationals. This is our first race for the Laser Nut Western Series. We just wrapped up last month the showdown in Shamokin, Pennsylvania, for the first race of the Four Wheel Parts Eastern Series.
Man, crossing a line on the chip. You hear the engine popping coming around. Jared Gunter crosses the line in the 4809, 208.4. 208.4, currently 11th quick.
And Scott, just like you were saying earlier, that's exactly what Nick Nelson just said. The track's getting slick. It's starting to blue groove, so you want to push hard, but not like he almost over-rotated towards the finish line.
So something interesting there is both Bailey Cole and Jaron Gunter are racing their Legends cars in the 4400 class, trying to get King of the Hammer spots. And they're doing it at the first race of the season, not the last, which is kind of interesting. But the most interesting part to me is that they were very competitive in the Legends class, and they are sitting 10th and 11th right now in the 4400 class too. So these guys are bringing their A game, they're mixing it up, but they're in Legends cars, so there are some things about these cars that aren't quite, the same level as we're looking at in Cody Addington's Red Dragon now and Nick Nelson and those guys, so good for them.
I stand corrected from my earlier statement when I said that standing next to Miles Hasselquist and Madsen Brakey as walking encyclopedias of knowledge of Ultra 4 racing. Sorry, but Shannon Wells just blowing you two guys away.
But that's a good thing, because that's her main job. So she better be good at it, which she is.
I think I'm sitting next to the biggest fan of Ultra 4 racing, and Miles, you'll have to step aside once again, as Shannon Welch not only is, she doesn't like when I say it, but she's the boss of the Ultra 4 series, but she's probably the biggest fan of the series as well. If we were having Ultra 4 Jeopardy show, I'd want her on my team. Yeah. I don't care if it was Jeopardy or Family Feud, Ultra 4 question. I want Shannon on my team.
So there's a UTV that just took off. Couldn't quite catch a number on that, but I do see Cade Rod and Shane Chiddix. Jimmy's IFS online. He just had a DNF in his G2 Legends car.
Rick Lavetza just took off from the line in his UTV just a moment ago.
And just real quick, everybody that's here on site, we have a Honda CRV, a silver Honda CRV with California plates. You are in the vendor area. We do need that car moved, please, or it will be towed. So a silver Honda CRV with California plates. Please move your vehicle. So I'm looking at this up in the stage. I see Randy Rod up there patiently awaiting his son Cade to debut in the 4400 class, his first time. Cade Rod just takes off in Shane Chiddix 4400 car. So that's Brecken Miramon in the UTV. He's only 16 years old. That's Eric Miramon's son racing in the UTV class. Pretty cool to see the whole family out here.
He looks like he's having a fast lap right now. Pretty steady through the rocks. Just a couple of turns remaining, and we need to see when his time comes, but he's been looking quick the first part of this qualifying lap.
So Brecken Miramon crossing the Metalcloak start-finish line in his UTV in the 4900 Can-Am class. And on screen, heading up the Gunite section, is Cade Rod, running his Jimmy's IFS chassis.
Brecken crosses the line in the 24th quick qualifying spot. 220.3 for the 16-year-old Brecken Miramon.
So I'm sure Shane Chiddix is watching home, seeing how his car's handling. It's pretty cool to hand over the keys to that car. He said it took him, I was talking to Randy earlier, Shane just kept thinking, who can I have drive this car for? I need the points. And he just kept coming back to Cade, and he asked Randy first, can I ask him? He said, call him up, see what he says. And there he is in the driver's seat. Looking good, looking smooth, heading through the Metalcloak rock section, straight into the Cloakworks uphill rock section. That IFS Jimmy's car is really looking good. Now he's got that left sweeper that's really blue grooved out. We'll see if he can keep her under control and still cross the finish line hot. So he did do a DNF in his G2 Legends car, but in Shane Chiddix IFS machine, Cade Rod.
How about that, Shane Chiddix? 6th quick, 201.3. 201.3
Hey,
for
Randy,
Shane
giving
Chiddix.
high fives. What do you think of that? He's in the stands, exciting, giving high fives, pumping his arms. Cade Rod. unofficially in 6th place for qualifying. Great showing for his first time driving in the 4400 class. We still yet to see any of the Campbells. They're not even lined up yet. I see Matt Thorson out there, Kyle Wickham, Brendan Thompson. The sun is out. It's a beautiful day. The wind is blowing. It's becoming a little bit of a factor, but it's helping with the dust out there, but making our job a little tricky. Again, sorry about the little technical difficulties we're having with all this wind. It's a little tricky, but they're doing the best they can. They're running around making this thing happen. The Hammer King production crew behind the scenes really putting in some work. So this is the KMC Hard Charger qualifying today. Trying to get a top spot for tomorrow's 2018 Metalcloak Stampede. Just outside of Rancho Cordova, California. Here at the Prairie City SVRA. On course it is Eric Miramon. We just saw his son Brecken Miramon in the UTV class on course. So it's pretty cool to see the whole family affair out there. Eric Miramon heading down the Metalcloak rock section, heading into the Cloakworks rock section. The boulders are getting turned. They're starting to change course a little bit. The track's starting to show its wear. But so far, so good. The Hammer King crew alongside NorCal Racing and the John Goodby team, keeping everything going smooth for the KMC qualifier.
Eric Miramon crosses the line with a 206.1. And 206.1 for the 42.15. That'll make him 11th quick, Eric Miramon.
So I was just trying to get down Lauren Healy to get a little talk with him, but he's kind of running around chasing down parts. He says, sorry, I can't talk right now trying to get parts, but I will be racing tomorrow. So this is our first race for the Laser Nut Western Series. So again, thank you everybody for tuning in back home on social media. Share everything you can. Facebook, Instagram. Go to ultra4racing.com/live. That is the main link to go. But if you are watching on Facebook, please hit that share button and tag a lot of your buddies to see what you're into. Let's try to grow this sport as big as we can. I've got a lot of passion for the sport. It's a lot of fun. It's a great family affair. And for everybody here on site, Daddy's food vendor is down there. They fed me lunch all weekend long. So if you're here on site, be sure to check them out. They'll be here all day, all evening, and then all day tomorrow for the 2018 Metalcloak Stampede. Thanks again, Daddy's food vendor. Roxy is here on site. If you saw me earlier, I'm wearing a event t-shirt. That's about all I wear. They're pretty cool. They're 25 a piece or 2 for 40, so be sure to buy one. We will sell out, I'm sure. So see Roxy. So this is the 2018 Metalcloak Stampede. Nitto's on site, Laser Nuts here, Jeep, Renegade Race Fuel, Nitto Tire, 4-wheel parts, Amada, Can-Am, ESOB is here to weld if you need anything. Fab School is part of the Manufacturing Cup. Genrite, KMC, we are in the qualifier. PCI Radio's on site. Savvy is the official armor, and we're using their Jeep JL today. Spider Tracks has been alongside with our Ultra 4 family for a long time, so thanks for all our sponsors for making this possible to bring it back to you, everybody at home. So thanks again for tuning in. Without those sponsors, this would not happen.
Just a moment ago, Scott Lesage crossed the line with his 49.32 with a time of 2:16.6. 2:16.6. Currently 25th quick, Scott Lesage.
So I've got Mr. Rick Waterbury with me. You're currently in the 4th position. You're the first straight axle to be up front. In practice earlier, you took a little bit of tumble, but they addressed the track a little bit, got the car going. How's everything feeling?
Oh, it's feeling good. It's feeling good. Yeah, we took the worst tumble I've ever taken in an Ultra 4 car earlier today, and it was just a weird rhythm out there that got us out of whack. But smoother's faster sometimes, guys, and it worked out great for us. I think we got the car dialed in. It's been a heck of a learning curve with this new car, but.
And yeah, this is a fairly brand new car. You debuted it at King of the Hammers and had some issues. You've raced here at the NorCal Racing. This is, I believe, your 3rd time on this track, and you've been upside down every weekend you've been here, correct?
Yes, yeah. Well, I've been upside down twice here and once at Reno, and we're hoping to change that.
But hey, you're a local to here. You're a rice farmer, if I'm not mistaken, correct? So just kind of a blue collar. Cool to see out here. You're pushing hard. You're extremely fast on that straight axle.
Oh, well, thank you. We're trying. Yeah, we're rice farmers here. It's our planting season. I shouldn't be here right now, but since it's local, we can't miss this race for sure.
All right. Well, Rick, I always appreciate it. It's a pleasure, my man.
Thank you.
Sean Leonardini on course right now, up on the backside. Charles Nardini crossed the line just a moment ago with a 231.2, currently in that 36th spot. Oh, and we got Carmen Course on fire right now. Darren Hinkey has got a pretty serious fire going on underneath that car.
You can see the left rear is engulfed. Hopefully the Hammer King production team can get him put out. I think he's got it realized.
And it looks like he did. Looks like it's already extinguished. But they're quickly crawling out. It was a serious flame there for a while.
So there's JT coming in, making sure everybody's okay. They're checking around the car. So tough break for Darren Hinkey. He had a pretty good fire for a little bit. We threw on site, making sure everything's okay. We got the Hammer King guys alongside of John Goodby's NorCal racing crew. We've got a great partnership with those guys. Without them, this track would be really hard to get to.
One thing I do know for sure, I wouldn't want to be downwind of when someone hits a fire extinguisher.
So this is the KMC qualifier. Remember, they will reimburse the top spot in each 5 class. So it's pretty cool for KMC to step up. They are the title sponsor for the Battle in the Bluegrass at the Dirty Turtle Off-Road Park in Kentucky. But this weekend is all about the Metalcloak Stampede here at the Prairie City SVRA, just outside of Rancho Cordova, California, about an hour and a half south of Reno, Nevada. It's a beautiful part of the country here in the Northwest. We've got a lot of guys lined up, ready. As you can see there on screen, they're belted in, got their helmets on, and now their spotters telling them, hey, we got a little issue on the track. It's a cold course. So what goes through your head when you're doing this? You're just thinking, you know, do I shut off my motor? Is it at running operational temperature? Do you risk it not starting? Do you get out? You're trying to get a game plan, but when that green flag drops, it's hard to keep one together because you want to push hard to get to the top of the pack. Looks like our Jeep JL's pulling Darren Hinkey off course. So thanks again, Gerald Lee, for donating your Savvy built Jeep. So we'll do a quick recap with the top 10 again. Justin Bohr with a 2970, or sorry, the number 2972 with a 205. Mike Bergman and his UFO IFS IRS machine with a 204. Paul Horschel, another IFS machine, a 202. Andrew McLaughlin in the 7th place with a 201. Cade Rod running for Shane Chiddix in the number 6 position, the number 201. Jason Blant in his fairly new Jimmy's chassis in the 5th position with a 159. Just chatted with Rick Waterbury in the 4th position with a 158. The top 3, Cody Addington in the brand new to him Red Dragon ADD Racing with a 157. He is all smiles, great for Cody. Number 2 is JP Gomez with a 154, but the top guy in the KMC qualifier so far, Mr. Nick Nelson with a 153.6 with the time to beat.
Yeah, for our fans that are watching us at home, you can see the line of cars in staging waiting for their 1 lap of qualifying. Just goes on and on and on.
So Scott Morse, the 4868 on course, part of the G2 Legends class.
Well, Miles has been busy here trackside, not only talking about qualifying, but grabbing a couple of guys here and there and getting up here. And now he's got, once again, another special guest. Miles?
Well, I got Cody Addington. You just purchased the Red Dragon last night from Lauren Healy. Today in practice was your first time ever driving it. You're sitting in the 3rd spot for today's KMC qualifier. How you feeling, buddy?
Pretty excited. It's an awesome car, and it's a whole different level than I'm used to. It's amazing.
So you started out, what was that, I'm going to guess 8 years ago in the Toyota, and you did the Everyman Challenge and then got invited into racing the King of the Hammers race, and you finished, I think you were out of time, but coming from a Toyota, and then you built a Fishmouth Fab buggy, raced it for quite a few years. So talk us through your evolving in Ultra 4, and now you got one of the fastest machines out here.
Yeah, I mean, it's been fun. I always rock crawled and had the Toyota, and just one day I said I'm going to race KOH and made that happen, and then decided to build a new car, and Fishmouth built me a car, and then Lauren came to me with an offer I couldn't refuse on the Red Dragon, and it's seriously still a dream come true.
I mean, when I saw yesterday you were saying there, I got something to say. I was like, what car do you get? I'm running it through my head. It did pop on my radar, but I was like, that's a pretty big budget car, and you're still kind of a small guy in our sport. You don't have unlimited funding. You don't have a huge sponsor, so it's pretty cool to see you making it happen. I'm glad to call you a buddy. It's cool to see you doing something you absolutely love, and the Red Dragon's a pretty cool machine to be doing it in.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, as much as I try to get out of this sport, I just can't do it, so I'm in it, and I'm here to stay for a while, and let's see what I can do in this new car.
And how are the ramen noodles tasting?
They're going to be good for the next year or so, but whatever.
All right, well, like I said, you're sitting 3rd on the KMC qualifier in a brand new to you car, but a very proven machine. Cool to see you up here, Cody.
Thanks. Yeah, I hadn't even driven the car until today, and I only sat in it for the first time yesterday, so it's exciting to me, and I'm ready to step my game up and see what happens.
All right, well, good luck at tomorrow's Metalcloak Stampede, buddy.
Thank you.
.45.23, Daniel Satch on course. And he just crossed the line, with a 2-minute 45 second. Looks like we have another Jeep Cherokee on course. We'll try to get a number here shortly. Again, there's a lot going on. We got 2 cars on course. We're trying to do some interviews, keep you guys up to date on everything we can. The wind's blowing adding to the difficulty, but it is a beautiful day for the KMC qualifier here for the 2018 Metalcloak Stampede here at the Prairie City SVRA, just outside of Rancho Cordova, California, close to the Sacramento area. That's where I flew into. Again, I'm Miles Hasselquist, just outside of Kansas City is my hometown. I've got Scott Rain, he's just outside of San Diego. We have Shannon Welsh, she's from Southern California. She's basically just outside of Los Angeles, so a couple fairly locals. So again, thank you everybody at home for tuning in to ultra4racing.com/live. If you're on Facebook, hit that share button, tag some buddies. Let's make this event as big as we can, and this is the most cars we've ever raced here. This is our 6th year at the Metalcloak Stampede. We've got over 125 cars registered. This is our first race for the Laser Nut Western Series. They've stepped up in a huge way this year. Cody Wagner's here racing. They're making the trophies for every race this season. It's a pretty cool trophy too. And there's still cars lined up as far as I can see for the KMC qualifying run. We got another car on course. And on screen, that looks like Brendan Thompson with the 5150 energy drink sponsored machine. Hitting the MBRP launch jump back there, right over the KMC kicker. Heading towards the Metalcloak rock section. This right here is exactly where Lauren Healy took a little tumble, but Brendan Thompson made it look good, right, Scott?
Man, I don't even think he touched the rock in that downhill section. Definitely a very strong lap. Four wheels slide through that final corner, getting ready to take the checkered flag, and does, now waiting for his lap time. Brendan Thompson, 2:01.2, 6th quick. Brendan Thompson in that 5150 with a time of 2:01.2.
So we're still mixing up that top 10 just a little bit, so the course still is staying pretty healthy. The wind's still blowing, getting rid of that dust, but it is starting to blue groove. Some of that flare dust is blowing to the sides. So again, thank you, John Goodby and your NorCal Racing crew for working with the Hammer King production crew, making sure everything's safe out there. You guys have put in a lot of work making sure the course is good for the 2018 Metalcloak Stampede. I believe that's the 1982 of Don Fisher on course. Again, with 2 cars going at a time, I may be a little bit off here and there. I do apologize, but we're doing the best we can. trying to keep all the times up to date, all the names and numbers out loud. Thank you for being patient with us.
So Don Fisher just crosses the line a moment ago with a 211.1, 211.1 for Don Fisher. Just before that was Kyle Wickham in the 48.23. Actually, he's still on the course. Kyle Wickham on course. Ross Glaive crossed the line at a 231.89, 231.89 for Ross Glaive.
And we keep talking about all the dust and the wind we have out there. I just walked around the corner and saw Levi Shirley over there with a leaf blower blowing all the dust out of the inside of the car off the outside. Pretty comical.
On course right now is the 28 of James Haskins in the 4400 class. On course right now.
See Albert Contreras in line, John Grounds. Matt Thorson.
And Kyle Wickham crosses the line, 48.23. His time is 2:14.6, 2:14.6 for Kyle Wickham.
And Shannon, if I'm not mistaken, you have a pretty good relation with Kyle and Jay Wickham, correct?
No, actually, I know them. They're brothers. They've been racing with us for a number of years now.
You have some pretty good backstory on them. I apologize.
I'm trying to figure out which story Miles is thinking about with these guys. You know, they come from Idaho. They're one of our only teams from Idaho. They come out with their grandparents to this event all the time, all of our events. They've raced in the 4800 class a lot. They did try to qualify in the 4400 class. They were going to race it in both EMC and King of the Hammers at KOH this year, which is a lot to ask of one car, and I believe they did do that. So, yeah, that's what I know of Kyle and Jade Wickham, and the brothers have been racing together for quite some time. Yep.
Nice job, Shannon. Way to recover. Daniel May Applegate on the course right now. And it looks like Haskins should be crossing the line just a moment ago. Let's see, yep. Haskins lap time, 2:32 flat. 2:32 flat for James Haskin, as right now we're watching Daniel May Applegate.
In his Jeep Cherokee, heading up the Gunite section. Part of the 4600 Pro Comp stock class. So again, we got to thank Renegade Race Fuel for bringing fuel on site. Nitto's got their hauler here. ESOB is ready and willing to help Weld. They made it all the way to Pennsylvania last month to help us out, and they will be at every race for support, so thank you, ESOB. Jeep is here, Metalcloak. So that's Matt Thorson, number 666 Hells Bells, running those 54-inch monster truck tires. Actually, I believe he's back down to the 44-inch tires. He's got an LS9 supercharged LS based. I think he's pushing right around 900 horsepower, but it's a huge machine. Our next race will be the East meets West Holly Clash at the Crossbars at Davis, Oklahoma.
Daniel May Applegate crosses the line with a time of 2:59.0. 2:59.0 for the 46.79 of Daniel May Applegate. As right now we're watching Matt Thorson. It just doesn't look right without those big ass tires on that thing, huh?
That thing's huge. Everything he got is huge. He's got his tow rig is a Kodiak that's lifted up and big. He likes going big or go home. I saw him last week on Facebook. He was out here practicing around. He's fairly local to the area. He's back there close to the MBRP launch jump where he's going to roll, heading towards the KMC kicker jump.
Jacob Peak on the course right now in the 48.95, just taking the green flag for his one lap of qualifying. Is right now we're watching Matt Thorson finish up with about, 2 rock sections and 2 corners, I believe. Yep, there we go.
And this is the KMC qualifier. KMC has stepped up and will reimburse the top spot in each of the 5 classes. And it is important to qualify well today because it is a physical finish for tomorrow's 2018 Metalcloak Stampede. We'll have a few heat races to put you into the main.
There's our, for the fans at home, there's our top 10 qualifying graphic with Bailey Cole currently sitting in the top 10 with a 206.9. Mike Bergman still hanging out with a 204.8 in that nice spot. Paul Horschel had a really good lap, sitting 8th with a 202.3. Andrew McLaughlin, always one of the front runners, in a 201.8. Right in front of him is Shane Chiddix in a 201.3. Jason Blanton in the top 5 with a 159.2. Rick Waterbury, who was just up here with Miles a moment ago, with a 158.7. Cody Addington, he's been up in the top 3 for quite a while now in the 157.5. JP Gomez laid down what I thought at the time was going to be the fast lap with a 154.1, currently second. And Nick Nelson, top spot with a 153.6. And correct me if I'm wrong, wasn't he one of the first 2 or 3 on the course to qualify this day?
His time has stayed strong for the KMC qualifier. Nick Nelson, our top spot.
Matt Thorson crosses the line in that big Hells Bells hot rod with a 251.7. 251.7 for Matt Thorson, and on the course right now is the 46.95 of Dawson Allington.
And again, we do apologize for a little bit of wind noise we have. The wind just coming through here like crazy. We're doing the best we can.
Nah, that's all Miles hot air. That's what that is. Miles the heavy breather.
I just about lost my hat in that last little wind gust. Had to hold down the computer. It started tipping over. So again, another huge shout out to the Hammer King production crew that's behind the scenes to make this all possible for us. So again, if you're at home tuning in, make sure you share it. ultra4racing.com/live.
The 48.95 of Jacob Peak crosses the line with a 229.6. 229.6 for Jacob Peak. As we're still watching Dawson Allington in the 46.95 out on course. Well, Miles, I think you've got every car in the pit area kind of memorized as far as the construction of it, the fabrication of it. And if you were to win the lottery, which one would you walk up to right now and slap down a blank check and say, okay, I'm driving tomorrow?
That'd be a really hard call, but yeah, Bailey Campbell's brand new car is pretty sweet. So I heard somebody just shout out that. Yeah, that thing's brand new. Campbell chassis, 2-seat IFS. It's a little mix between Brian Caprera's 2-seater and Shannon Campbell's single-seater. Kind of the best of both worlds. I mean, Lauren Healy and Nick Nelson's brand new identical cars are pretty sweet. Cody Addington just bought the Red Dragon. And the list goes on and on. Jason Blanton has a pretty sweet big block Jimmy's chassis.
So you're not going to give me a straight answer.
If I won the lottery, I'd buy all of them. And I do play, so we'll see what happens. That looks like it's the 261 of Dan Waller, running in the 4900 Can-Am class. This is the first race for the Laser Nut Western Series for the 2018 Metalcloak Stampede. This is our 6th year at this event. It's a great family, spectator-friendly park. You can see probably 80% of the track from the grandstands. Those things will be packed tomorrow.
Well, Miles, we touched on it a while ago about how quick these UTVs are out on the course, and crossing the line right now in the 261 for his qualifying lap, the Can-Am of Dan Walker with a time of 2:19.1. 2:19.1 for Dan Walker in the 261. On course right now is Ed Fulkerson in his 401. We also have Jim Henley right now in the 411 and the 401 of Ed Fulkerson, both pro UTVs.
So during today's KMC qualifier, we are mixing it. It is first come, first serve. We have the 4900 Can-Am UTV class, the 4600 Pro Comp Stock class, the 4500 Rubicon Express Modified class, the 4800 G2 Legends class, and then the big boys, the Unlimited 4400 Nitto class.
Coming around that final corner, taking the checkered flag after completing one lap of qualifying, the 401 of Ed Fulkerson. Let's see. The a 241.8. 241.8 for Ed Fulkerson.
You see that Can-Am right there launching through the MBRP launch jump. Heading towards the Metalcloak rock section. Checking up just a little bit. Making that hard right corner. Heading to the Cloakwork rock section. So on the KMC pole, it is still the Nitto sponsored driver, Nick Nelson, for today's KMC qualifier.
And Jim Henley crosses the line in his Can-Am in the number 411 with a time of 2:24.05. 2:24.05 for Jim Henley in the 411 Can-Am. Right now, Randy Southall in the 4988 Pro UTV on the course. So Mark Nicholson's on course right now in the 1177, just taking the green flag a moment ago. Right now we're watching Randy Southall in the 4988 Pro UTV division. Getting awfully squirrely in that last corner. And he'll cross the line at a 237.04. 237.04 for Randy Southall. On course right now, about halfway through his lap, is Mark Nicholson. Mike Bedwell taking the green flag. So once again, we're running two cars at a time, as Nicholson's just about ready to finish up his lap, as Bedwell just took the green flag. Oh, we got car on its lid. We have a car rolled over, can't quite see the number. It might even be Bedwell, not able to tell what part of the course it's on. Yeah, we just got confirmation that it is Bedwell on his lid. As Nicholson crosses the line in the 1177 4400 class, 217.7. 217.7 for Mark Nicholson.
So again, another huge shout out to the Hammer King crew out there, making sure everybody's safe, working closely with John Goodby and the NorCal Racing crew, making sure everything runs as smooth as it can. So a huge shout out to all the volunteers out there. They're in orange vests, so if you see somebody, shake their hand, tell them thank you, because again, they volunteered their time to make this possible to race. Next month, we will be heading to Davis, Oklahoma for the East meets West Holly EFI Clash at the Crossbars. That'll be June 15th and June 16th. So again, here is our top 10. Number 10, it's Bailey Cole with a 206.9. Number 9, Mike Bergman with a 204.8. Number 8, Paul Horschel with a 202.3. Number 7 is Andrew McLaughlin with a 201. Number 6, Cade Rod driving for Shane Chiddix with a 201.3. Number 5, Jason Blanton with a 159.2. Number 4, Rick Waterbury with a 158.7. Number 3, in the Red Dragon, Cody Addington with a 157.5. Number 2 is JP Gomez with a 154.1. And top of the box for the KMC qualifier, sponsored by KMC Wheels and Nitto Tire, Nick Nelson with a 153.6. So again, everybody, thank you for tuning in. Ultra4racing.com/live. Today is the KMC qualifier for tomorrow's Metalcloak Stampede here at the Prairie City SVRA, just outside of Sacramento, California. The weather is perfect. It's a little bit windy, but it's 80 degrees and sunny. Just about an hour and a half south of Reno, Nevada. We'll be heading there in October for the Nitto National Championship. This is the first race for the Laser Nut Western Series for Ultra 4 Racing. So I had a little bit of hiccup on my information, but through my PCI radio, we just updated. Number 6 is Brendan Thompson, 5150 energy drink machine in that 6th spot. So we still have Mike Bedwell out on course, trying to get him safe and sound. So sorry for the little bit of delay, but it has been pretty much non-stop action for the KMC qualifier. Right now we got a great shot from our live drone.
So we got John Matthews on course right now in the 4580. As the last car to cross the line to take a qualifying time was Mark Nicholson in the 1177 with a time of 2:17.7. Again, Matthews on course right now as we speak.
can see our Jeep JL out there. Thank you to Savvy for hooking us up with that for the weekend. Gerald Lee's been with us for a very long time.
Excellent drone shot looking down at what's taking place on course right now. I believe that is John Matthews having issues in that turn. Not sure if he went over, did a rollover or not, or just over rotated in the corner, but either way, being pulled off the course on the strap. We've got a lot of cars in line right now, still back to staging, waiting to take their qualifying lap.
I see one of the Campbells. I can't tell if it's Waylon or Shannon, but there's about 15 cars back. I see Mike Boo. See Raul Gomez, John Grounds, Albert Contreras. We still have a lot of racing today for today's KMC qualifier. Travis Zollinger, the number 220, running his UTV out there. Travis Zollinger running at part of the 4900 Can-Am UTV class. And the UTVs have been throwing down some great times. Like you were saying, traction, Scott, earlier, you were saying traction can be an issue, but these guys are kind of doing the smooth and steady routine, and it's really working out for them.
Yeah, when the track there's to be slick. We haven't talked to any drivers about that just yet, but if the track is really slick, that evens out the horsepower ratio. You know, the lower on horsepower, slick track takes the advantage away from the guys with the big horsepower.
And we were talking, or I was talking to Nick Nelson earlier, and he had just watched Lauren Healy take out and ran way too hard, stuffed the left front, did some suspension damage, so he's going to be working all night long. So he's like, I pushed hard, but not 100%. Because you definitely want to finish towards the front, but if you push too hard and wad up, you're going to be in the back of the...
As we're watching right now, Jim takes a drag in his qualifying lap in the number 24.
He's part of the 4400 Unlimited class. So Travis Zollinger heading through the Cloakworks Rock section, heading towards the Metalcloak start-finish line. Travis Zollinger, we'll get a time through him first, quick. .218.1 at 218.1 for Travis Zollinger in the Pro UTV division. Now we're watching Jared Pallant in the number 24, as Miles said, running in the 4400 class. You know what's really neat about all this social media stuff and all the technology we got going on right now? Liam Miller is at home watching us. And I'm kind of wondering, you know what? It's a coast-to-coast drive. So what? You do it all the time. Why aren't you here? It's a lot of travel. Yeah, we were just in their neck of the woods last month in Pennsylvania. Eric finished second in the showdown at Shamokin.
Oh, well, no. And Jared Pallant comes to a stop for some reason. Now fired up again and back underway, but that's going to cost him drastically on the clock. Jacob Versey on the course right now in his UTV Pro in the 4931.
And I'm looking out, and it looks like Albert Contreras, who finished third in last year's Stampede, patiently awaiting. He drove 38 hours from Compton, California to Pennsylvania for last month's race. Spent 10 days and spent 6 of them driving.
Hey Miles, I'm getting a message right now by Leah. She goes, #job. People in Portugal want race cars too. Well, I just want to let you know, Leah, that you and Eric are missed here this weekend. Wish you were out here running.
It's kind of cool to see on the side of that car, there's a for sale sign. So if anybody here on site looking for an Ultra 4 car, there's a few for sale. So Albert Contreras, the number 4605, part of the Pro Comp stock class, hot on course. As we're watching the 4931, Jacob Versey on course in the 4900 Can-Am class.
So Jared Pallant crosses the line with number 24 with a time of 2:44.9, 2:44.9 for Jared Pallant. And as Miles said, we got Albert Contreras on the course along with Jacob Versey. And Jacob Versey crossed the line with a time of 2:22.6, 2:22.6 in his Pro UTV car, number 4931.
As you see on screen, Albert Contreras bouncing up the Gunite section. He's running his Jeep in the Pro Comp stock class in today's KMC qualifier for tomorrow's 2018 Metalcloak Stampede right here at the Prairie City SVRA, just outside of Rancho Cordova in Northern California. The wind is kind of going in spurts. The sun is shining, 80 degrees. As you see Albert just launching over there in his stock Jeep, taking a little bunny hop bounce. He's pushing hard, tumble, and he didn't commit quite enough on the little step-up dumble and lawn darted right on the edge. He said the car's fine, but it took a toll on himself. But as you can see how hard he's pushing, he's okay. And that just goes to show all these safety reasons we put in effect is for the driver. So all these roll cages and harnesses keeps everybody safe. That is our #1 priority for the Ultra 4 racing.
John Contreras crosses the line in the 4605 with a time of 2:37.5, 2:37.5. Now we're watching John Grounds in the 4570.
And in line I do see Bailey Campbell's car, the number 35, that brand new 2-seat IFS built by Campbell Enterprises. They were dynoing and shock tuning and all that jazz this week. Just last night they were out shock tuning, having some issues. I ended up finding a bad ground, so they got it fixed up, cut shock tuning a little short. They drove all night long, got here at 3 in the morning. He got everything set up, so the Campbell crew has been working tirelessly to get that new car out here, so it'll be very exciting to see Bailey Campbell out on course. And on course, we'll watch John Grounds Metalcloak Rock, heavily sponsored by Poison Spider. He was in Pennsylvania, so that was a long haul for him because he's local to the California area, not mistaken. John Grounds heads to the Metalcloak start-finish. So on course right now, the 1943 Randy Watson.
Just a little update. It looks like unofficially Elba Contreras is in the top spot now for the KMC Wheels Hard Charger Award for the 4600 class. So looks like he may be in the top spot, at least as of right now. John Grounds crossed the line just a moment ago into 241.7, 241.7. Randy Watson now on the course. And Arturo Soria is also on the course in the 4500 class and 4800 respectively.
So lots of action today so far for today's KMC qualifying race. The safety crew has been put to work for a few times. We've seen Savvy's Jeep JL out there, helping everything run smooth. The Cloakwork Rock section has proved to be a fun spot to watch. Looks like we should get a time through our PCI radio here in a moment.
Randy Watson with a time of 2:27.2, 2:27.2 in the 1943, running in the 4400 class. Now we're watching Arturo Soria.
Well, Scott, I see another one of our favorites lined up. Raul Gomez should be taking off. Part of Gomez Brothers Racing in that UFO IFS machine. And did you hear that? Raul's pushing for the front.
I think half the hill just woke up a moment ago.
This one will be a fun run to watch. Raul Gomez is going to be pushing hard in that UFO IFS machine built by Joe Thompson. They are some absolutely beautiful machines.
And it looks like Arturo might be slowing on the course. In fact, is slowing and might be coming to a stop.
And there's Raul Gomez heading through the little rhythm section. Look at that IFS work, Scott.
It's almost like the cameras can't keep up with Raul right now.
He lives just about 30 minutes down the road. He races here for the NorCal races. He races with Ultra 4. This is a very familiar track to him, so he knows this thing like the back of his hand. Raul's going to be pushing hard.
Now watch some of the lines that he's taking right now as compared to what we've been seeing all afternoon. And I just kind of wonder if something from this point on, the guys have been waiting all afternoon to come up for the qualifying. That might come back to kind of bite it with some of these. It is definitely a blue groove, and that can slow you considerably.
But he still looks like he's making a great run with those Nitto tires. Hitting the MBRP launch jump. Getting ready for the KMC kicker. Look at him absolutely sending it. Raul's going to have a great time. I'm excited to see. Making the Metalcloak Rock section look easy. Heading into the Cloakwork Rock section. Raul Gomez hot on the throttle. And you can hear that there.
Looks like this whole last corner, this whole thing right here is all blue grooved all the way around. Look, oh, he's got to pitch sideways.
That's what you call never lift. Raul Gomez with a smoking time of.
Hang on, just a moment. Raul Gomez, we believe unofficially, is 4 with a time of 1:58.29. 1:58.29 for the 44.83 of Raul Gomez.
He'll be very happy with that. Heard some of the Gomez. Top 5 for Raul Gomez so far. And speaking about Gomez, I see Marcos finally made it. He's getting ready to head out in his car. So we do have all 3 Gomez brothers here on site.
I don't believe he's here. Where is he?
He's heading to
Maybe he has Canadian shackles on or something. Took his green flag, so looks like our tour tomorrow afternoon.
So the 48.53, Andrew Gorman, making nice work out there in his Jimmy's chassis. Nitto sponsored machine heading into the Talladega style berm. Dyke.
Oh, big time rollover. Nosed it actually. On jump, Andrew Gorman. You could see it coming. Kind of kicked the back of the car up in the air, landed nose down hard, and then just a slow nose tail right side of the course.
But as you can see, our safety crew's right on there, making sure everybody's okay. That's the one and only Texas Jesus on screen. JT just pulling up. Our Q alongside with the John Goodby's NorCal Racing crew. Making sure everybody's okay, giving thumbs up. So while we do have a little bit of a break in the action, we need to give some love to our sponsors. This is the Metalcloak Stampede. We are hot and heavy in the KMC qualifier. Nitto Tire. This is the first Western race for the Laser Nut Series. Jeep. We have 4-wheel parts. Amada, Amsoil, Axile, Best Top, Can-Am, ESOB, the Fab School, G2, Genrite, Griffin Radiator, HCR, Holly EFI, Jeep, King Shocks, KMC Wheels, Laser Nut, MBRP, Method Wheels, Monster Energy, Nitto Tire, Optima Battery, PCI Radio, Pro Comp, RCV, Renegade Fuel, Reno Tahoe, Rigid Industry Lights, Rubicon Express, Shampa, Share My Coach, Savvy, Smitty Built, Spider Tracks, Squatch Box, Steal It, Tensor, US Gear, Warn, and Yukon. So again, thank you for all those sponsors coming on board, making this thing possible, and thank you for everybody back home tuning into ultra4racing.com/live. Hit the share button on Facebook, do the repost on Instagram. Thank you everybody for keeping tuned in. Looks like we have a new top 10, Scott.
Yeah, finally updated top 10. Paul Horschel in that 10th spot, the 202.3. Andrew McLaughlin 9th, 201.8. Shane Chiddix, 201.3 is in that 8th spot. Brendan Thompson, 201.2. 7th, sitting 6th quick is Jason Blanton of 159.2. Rick Waterbury still finds himself in the top 5 with a 158.7. How about Raul Gomez, 158.3 in that 4th spot. Cody Addington third in the 157.5. JP still second. And Nick Nelson still at that top spot. So 2 of the Gomez boys in the top 5 going into tomorrow afternoon's racing action.
The 46.71 of Sean Gill is on course. He's part of the 4600 Pro Comp stock class. Sean Gill on course. Our safety crew did a great job making sure everybody was okay, getting the course cleared. Thank you again, everybody, for staying tuned in with us. Again, I'm Miles Hasselquist alongside Shannon Welch and Scott Grain. We'll be with you guys all weekend long. I'll be with you all season long. It's been a lot of fun. Today is the KMC qualifying for tomorrow's 2018 Metalcloak Stampede. The wind is still staying strong out here, keeping things interesting. Looks like Seth Van Dyke taking off in the 48-38 in his bomber machine. So waiting in line, I see Jimmy Jack. We have Waylon Campbell, Bailey Campbell, Mr. Lasernut himself, Cody Wagner, David Hartman. Still got a lot of fast and fun guys. There's Levi Shirley lined up. Still have a lot of qualifying to go. Everything's running about as smooth as it can go. The safety crews have kept everything running great. Looks like Sean Gill with a time of 2:44, so pretty good run for him. I believe this is the 54 of Mike Boo that just took off. So Mike Boo, part of the 4400 class on course. He's been racing with the Ultra 4 family for quite a while. On screen, you just saw Seth Van Dyke and that bomber cruising through there. There's a great shot of Seth Van Dyke heading into the Cloak Works rock section. One more left-hand turn, he'll be hitting the start-finish line. So I'll be listening to my PCI radio to get a time for Seth Van Dyke. So there's a good shot of Mike Boo on course. Looking smooth, looking fast. Hitting the Nitto drifting Talladega turn. Heading towards the MBRP launch, and there's that great looking car of Bailey Campbell, the number 35. That thing is brand new. They took it shock tuning just yesterday. Found a couple little issues, but got it back out here. Mike Boo still making dust in the number 54. Mike Boo making the Metalcloak rock section look smooth. Heading into the Cloakwork rock section. Mike Boo should be getting a pretty decent time here very soon. So Mike Boo's unofficial time is 2:09.569. So that's a pretty good run for him. Looks like Seth Van Dyke's time had a 2:06, so that's a great run for him. That's a very good run because he's in the 4800 G2 Legends class. And that's one of his, I think this is his first race with us, and that's a great time for the KMC qualifier. That could put him towards the front in the G2 Legends class. So it sounds like Waylon Campbell should be up next. He's sitting down there with Gene getting everything checked out. We'll be sending Waylon Campbell here very shortly.
So I always like to talk about the women of the sport, and right now we have Sarah Emerald on course in that 4500 car. We've got three women, I should say. We've got Beverly Croy, Sarah Emerald, and Bailey Campbell all out here racing. I love seeing women getting into the sport and into the driver's seat. And right now, that 4538 car out there, that belongs to Sarah Emerald. I'm trying to take a look right now, Scott and Miles. I'm looking at Seth Van Dyke's time of a 2:06, and I'm trying to see if anybody so far has beaten that time. One of the reasons we're having a tough time with top 10s and all of them, you guys, is we have 130 cars out here. Our biggest Metalcloak Stampede event ever. And all the classes running together means there's a lot of data to sort through. So I'm going to check on that Seth Van Dyke time for you and get back to you. Here you go, Miles.
And there takes off Waylon Campbell. He's going to be pushing hard. You can hear that Campbell chassis screaming. He's always a top contender. He's really starting to fill into his own shoes. Waylon Campbell making a name for himself. So Sarah Amaral with a 241.8, so that's a pretty good run for her. So on screen we see Wade Coleman, part of the 4800 G2 Legends class. So lots of action during today's KMC Wheels qualifier. And remember, they will reimburse the entry fee in each of the 5 classes for the top spot. And there is Waylon Campbell in that IFS Campbell chassis, looking good. Waylon's really pushing hard, wants a great start for tomorrow's 2018 Metalcloak Stampede.
I think starting positions will be absolutely critical tomorrow. The track is this tight, this windy, this dusty, and this many cars.
As he absolutely sends it off the MBRP launch jump, heading to the KMC kicker. He's getting some great air. We'll see how hard he hits into the Metalcloak rock section.
Jimmy Jack on the course right now, the number 63 right now. We're watching Waylon Campbell, just a few corners remaining. This is going to be good.
Waylon Campbell will have a great time. I assume it'll be top 10. We'll see if he can get any faster than that. Jimmy Jack is one of our crowd favorites for the 4500 Rubicon Express modified class.
Time to beat is a 1:53. The number 3 Monster Energy entry of Waylon Campbell has come up just short. 1:57.03, currently 3rd quick.
So great run by Waylon Campbell, sitting in that 3rd spot so far. On screen is Jimmy Jack. He's really stepped up his program today, or this year. I'm sure you guys have seen his cool hauler he's got now. He's teamed up. Jack Racing on course. Yeah, Scott, we've been talking about that all day long. The track is starting to deteriorate a little bit. Traction is becoming an issue.
So at the drivers' meeting, Dave actually talked about that, and he said, we are not going to water this course. And there's a reason we're not watering the course. It alters the course a lot, right? So it changes the course dramatically. If we did water halfway through this many qualifiers, somebody'd end up with a slick course. It changes the conditions. So you can choose to run the beginning, you can choose to run to the end. It really is when you want to be out there. But it is first come, first serve. But really, Dave made a point of telling them we are not watering this course, so it's a fair shake for everybody, and nobody gets that really wet course or that really dry course or that dusty course. They all get the same.
Well, the interesting part of that too is the track changes slowly throughout the day. If you don't touch it, don't groom it, don't water it, it's slow changing. But the thing is, it's changed a ton from the first couple cars on the track to what it is now. But again, everything is a choice by the driver.
It is a choice, and the other part of it is you got to remember these are unlimited four-wheel drive vehicles. It getting tougher, more rutted out, that's more what they're used to from King of the Hammers and that sort of thing.
Jimmy Jack with a time of 2:17.17. 2:17.17, and Travis Riley now out on the course.
And getting in line on screen, you see Bailey Campbell in that brand new 2C IFS. I'm extremely excited to see this thing move. I do not think she's going to push 100%. Terry Madden's going to keep her rein down a little bit. It's a brand new car. They don't want to work on it any more than they have this last month or so. But it's a cool car to see out here running with us.
We've also got Chance Holloman on the course right now in the 4832. There you see once again Bailey Campbell getting ready to take the green flag. But looking back a few positions, Seth Van Dyke appears right now to be the KMC Wheel Hard Charger in the 4800 class with a time of 2:06.07. That is unofficial. But Seth Van Dyke, his first event here with us. and he's looking very, very strong in the top spot right now in the 4,800.
And look how cool that car looks. She, you know, Waylon and Shannon's cars are always black monsters. She goes with the white monster scheme. She's had that solid axle for quite a few years. They've retired into a trail rig, and now they got this brand new car, fresh out of the box. They did shock tuning yesterday. They put it on the dyno on Thursday. Chased down a bad ground last night. Got here at 3 in the morning. Bailey Campbell hot on course. Great to see her out here in that brand new car.
Man, the sound again. Miles, how does that make you feel?
Put smiles on my face as she launches over the laser nut tabletop.
Remember when Dirt Sports Magazine used to have their masterpiece of metal centerfold section of their magazine, and I can't help but think that this car would be right there in the middle of it if with that brand new hot rod out on the track.
And how cool is it with that live drone chasing her down? That's a great shot we have. A little nose heavy there, but she's making a great run so far.
Travis Riley crosses the line in qualifying the 4,500 class, 246.26, 246.26. Chance Holloman coming up next, along with Bailey Campbell.
I was talking to Shannon earlier. He rode shotgun with her during practice this morning, and he said that for out of the box, the car is great. It needs a little tweaking on the suspension, but that just comes with time. But he's very excited to put Bailey in that car, and he put a lot of safety thoughts into that. So this car is built tough. It's going to be a fun car to watch. Heavily sponsored by Monster Energy and Nitto Tire.
Kevin Stearns takes a green flag in his qualifying run. Chance Holloman across the line at 245.03, 245.03 for Chance Holloman. Bailey Campbell will be the next one to take the checkered flag.
She comes over the KMC kicker, heading towards the Metalcloak Rocks section. Checks up just a little bit, feathers through. Bailey Campbell's got a very smooth run. I'm going to guesstimate here right in that 15 to 20 range. And she is pushing all the way till the end. There's Mario with NorCal waving the checkered flag for Bailey Campbell.
202.77, 202.77 for Bailey Campbell, her first laps on the track in a brand new car.
That's a great, great run by her, so that may be top 10. We'll see here very shortly. So that's a 12th place unofficially, Bailey Campbell in the KMC qualifier. Great, great run by her.
Kevin Stearns in the course right now in the 45.02, taking the green flag just a moment ago.
So the sun is still shining, the wind is still blowing.
Cody Wagner on the course right now, the number 48. He's also running the 4,400 class.
He is Mr. Laser Nut, the sponsors of the Western Series. He normally just races the King of the Hammers, so it's cool to see him on the short course in that beautiful Armada-built IFS IRS machine. Copper-plated wheels, that is a beautiful work of art.
Kevin Stearns crosses the line in that 45.02 with a time of 2:17.37. 2:17.37 for Kevin Stearns.
And on screen, the Laser Nut sponsored Cody Wagner making a great run. Again, huge shout out to Cody Wagner and Laser Nut for sponsoring the Western Series and making every trophy for this season. So they've stepped up in a huge way. Great to see him out there enjoying himself as well as supporting our series.
John Hall takes a green flag. He starts his qualifying run, number 71. As we're now waiting for Cody Wagner to finish up his qualifying lap with just a few turns remaining.
And for his first time playing short course, he's making a pretty smooth run. He'll have a very decent time. Mr. Lasernut, Cody Wagner, heading towards the Metalcloak start-finish line. He's pushing hard all the way to the finish. We should get a time for him very shortly. Scott, what's our time for Cody Wagner?
Cody Wagner, 2:03.96. 2:03.96 for the 48 of Cody Wagner.
So that's just behind Bailey Campbell, so that's right around that top 15 mark or so, unofficially. For today's KMC qualifier for this weekend's 2018 Metalcloak Stampede here at the Prairie City SVRA.
We're jumping back into the Pro UTV division with Matt Lipman. He takes a green flag his qualifying lap. Now waiting for John Hall to finish up as we're watching him on camera right now for all the fans back at home who are watching us live.
He hit that KMC kicker and launched it pretty good. John Hall has a smooth run going. There's been a lot of smooth runs today. Very little carnage. But when there has been, our safety crew along with the NorCal crew has kept everything in line. And there's last year's winner of the Metalcloak Stampede, Levi Shirley out of Dodge City, Kansas. Not too far from myself. As you can see, another dust out section at the Metalcloak finish line.
How about this? John Hall, 2:02.89. 2:02.89 for John Hall, just behind Bailey Campbell.
Less than a tenth of a second separating those two. A lot of great racing. The track is still holding on pretty good. You see that Nitto berm right there? Heading towards the MBRP launch jump. Looks like that was David Hartman, the 4874, running in the 4800 G2 Legends class, taking the green flag. He's part of the Team Jimmy's. One of my buddies, Mike Seward, rode with him shotgun at King of the Hammers. He said that car's fast. And every single class will run the same course for today in qualifying and tomorrow. And it is a physical finish race, so qualifying is a huge asset to start towards the front. And we do have a few fast guys that had some bad luck, like Lauren Healy, who's got to fix his car to do a hard charge from the back of the pack, but I'm sure he'll give it his all. There's David Steal It Gun Action.
Completing his qualifying lap in the 1987, Matt Lipman in the Pro UTV division, the 2:16.10. 2:16.10 for Matt Lipman.
So I hear another one, the 435 of Ray Bullock heading out on course, part of the 4900 UTV class. We still have quite a few cars to run. We have yet to see Shannon Campbell. Levi Shirley's coming up shortly. Brian Caprera in his two-seat Campbell chassis. But on course is David Hartman in his solid axle G2 Legends class, Jimmy's chassis, running those Nitto tires. So we should get a time here very shortly for David Hartman, and it is a 2:12.857. So great run for David Hartman. And we had a late arrival of Marcos Gomez, so he's here on site. He's just now getting signed in, and I think I heard his car just fire up, so he'll be heading to the back of the line for the KMC qualifier. I see Darian Gomez and his UTV, part of Gomez Brothers Racing. That is Raul's son. It looks like the left front just got wadded up on that Textron machine. He's still trying to push through. The left front is almost completely off that UTV, but he's gonna get a finish time, pushing all the way to the end.
How about this? Kept it together. Left front damage from the very first rock section.
So Ray Bullock pushed through with no left front tire.
And how about this for a time? With the damage and all, imagine what it could have been. I would put money on it that he would have been sub 2 minutes. He crosses the line as it is with a 2:11.41. 2:11.41 for Ray Bullock.
So still a great time with the added bad luck of that left front damage. Great to see him still be able to make it across the finish line. It's very possible that's the only Textron in the field. I was walking through the pits earlier. It's a cool machine. Robbie Gordon races those.
Kieran Cox in the Pro UTV take the green flag a moment ago. Edwin Abt now on the course as well in the 4400. Time to beat in the UTVs is Justin Board with a 2:05, so keep that in mind.
So on camera is Levi Shirley, last year's winner of the 2017 Metalcloak Stampede. We'll see how hard he's pushing. He did a little tire swapping earlier. He went from 40s back to 37s, back to 40s. Levi Shirley out of Dodge City, Kansas, will be taking off number 81 very shortly. And a huge shout out, Levi Shirley, happy birthday, buddy.
The 4475 of Edwin Abt crosses the line a moment ago into 2:23.89. And yep, there's a distinctive sound coming out of that Max tire entry of Levi Shirley as he takes the green flag.
He's running a identical car to Waylon Campbell, and Waylon threw down a great time. We'll see what kind of comparison. They battled all year long. We're number 1 and 2 in points last year. So Levi Shirley, number 81, single seat IFS machine, getting a little squirrely through that rhythm section, but keeping her under control. Pushing hard, running those King shocks.
I don't know, Miles. The back of that car seems to be hopping around a little bit coming off these jumps.
He raced the Mint 400 in that machine. But Levi Shirley making a great run out there, heading into the Nitto Talladega corner. It's a huge berm. It's getting a little dug out, it looks like. And you can see that flag right there. The wind is still blowing. Heading towards the MBRP launch jump.
Kieran Cox crosses the line in the UTV division with a 2:33.38. And the 142, again, the time is 2:33.38 for Kieran Cox.
Levi launches through the KMC kicker, heading towards the Metalcloak rock section. Tries skipping through, barely kisses the end. Heading into the Cloakwork rock section. Levi Shirley's got a great run going. We'll see if this is top 10 material. I believe it's gonna. Pushing hard, drifting all the way to the end. Levi Shirley's gonna have a great time.
Now keep in mind, we have had a lot of cars on the track since the fast time was set earlier this afternoon. But once again, not quite quick enough with a time of 1:54.78. Levi Shirley currently third quick.
There's a lot of fast names up there in the top. Levi Shirley, on his birthday, just threw down a great run for the KMC qualifier.
Well, it's kind of cool to get some radio reports or hear things out on the course from some of the guys. And right now, with Anthony Thomas out there in his Jeep Cherokee, just heard from Dave a bit ago, that guy is hauling the mail.
And he's in the 4600 Pro Comp stock class. Cool to see. So it looks like unofficially our top 10 will be Cade Rod, Brendan Thompson, Jason Blanton, Rick Waterbury, Raul Gomez, Cody Addington, Wade Campbell, Levi Shirley, JP Gomez, and top of the KMC qualifier from the beginning, Nick Nelson.
Taking the green flag to start his qualifying lap, Justin Hall, number 13. In the 4500 class, Justin Hall just takes the green flag to start his qualifying. Anthony Thomas, one we're waiting for now.
That's Kevin Adler's old Pro Comp machine. Cool to see out here still racing around. I was talking to him earlier and it drove by and he was all smiles that it's still out here racing. Pro Comp is definitely a heavy sponsor of ours. Huge shout out to them. They're part of our Pro Comp stock class sponsor. Renegade Race Fuels out here, ESOB Welding. We have Savvy's Jeep JL. This is the first Western race for the Laser Nut Series.
Anthony Thomas crosses the line in the 4600 class with a time of 2:39.48. 2:39.48. Casey Peoples takes the green flag to start qualifying in the 11:28 in the UTV Pro class.
And again, this is the KMC qualifier. They are reimbursing each of the classes the top spot. So cool for them to step up for this whole season. Last year they gave away a pretty cool trophy for the Hard Charger Award, but this year they get cash. And cash is king, as we all know. So again, thank you KMC for stepping up. And this is the 2018 Metalcloak Stampede here at the Prairie City SVRA. Thanks for everybody tuning in back home, ultra4racing.com/live. If you're on Facebook, hit that share button, tag a couple buddies. Let's make this event huge.
Justin Hall crosses the line to take the checkered flag at qualifying, 2:21.99. 2:21.99 for Justin Hall and number 13. Casey Peoples on the course in the UTV Pro class, as well as Dave Schneider in the 48.71 starting his qualifying lap.
And Dave Schneider, actually, but his car is raced by Bailey Cole, so he's kind of filling in. It's kind of cool to see him out there dabbling it in. He's in the 4500 Rubicon Express modified class. In Dustin Friesen's car.
Justin Hall crosses the line in his 4500 with a time of 2:21.99. And Casey Peoples crosses the line at a 2:23.73 in the Pro UTV division in the 11:28. Bill Schultz takes the green flag in the 46.55 to start his qualifying lap. Right now we're watching Dave Schneider in the 48.71 currently on the track.
In line, I see Tim Priest, Marcos Gomez, Shannon Campbell. So we're starting to wind down a little bit, but we still have some heavy hitters out there. So Dave Schneider in that Trent Fab machine crossing the Metalcloak finish line.
Unofficially, as we're looking at it in the 45.71 in the 4500 class, we believe Dave Schneider has taken the top spot in qualifying with a 2:16.51. 2:16.51 for Dave Schneider in the 45.71.
He's been with Ultra 4 since the beginning, so great to see him out here dabbling in racing, as well as sponsoring Bailey in his car with Trent Fab.
Puts him just about 5 seconds in front of Justin Hall, who ran a 2:21.99, also in the 4500 class.
Off the line, it sounds like that's the number 31, Matt Tribino. And on screen, that's Bill Scholes we're watching, coming through the Metalcloak Rocks section. He's part of the 4600 Pro Comp stock class, racing his Jeep.
Bill Schultz crosses the line in the 46.55 with a 3:08.89. 3:08.89. As right now we're watching Matt Tribino out on course. Cody Young takes a green flag, starting his qualifying lap in the 48.62.
Tribino right now on the course as we're watching for on screen all the fans back at home. Very, very steady, very smooth lap. Not overly fast, but definitely not slow as well. But very, very even keel throughout this lap. Matt Tribino crosses the line in his number 31 4400 class race car. 2:23.35. 2:23.35 from Matt Tribino. Cody Young now on camera for the fans at home as well. I think he's right now. Oh, I was about to say he was the only one on course, and I hear some motor revving in the background.
And remember, even if you're here on site here at the Prairie City SVRA, you can still tune in on your smartphone and kind of keep up to date with everybody back at home at ultra4racing.com/live. And please blow up social media. Use all the hashtags.
Daniel Markley takes the green flag in the UTV Pro Division, the 777s. You know, you bring that up, Miles, about being able to watch us even though we're here on site. I'm watching this on my cell phone right now, and it's kind of, dude, I'm hearing you twice. With that little bit of a delay, I hear you twice. And it's like, really? Once is enough.
Once is plenty, so I do apologize. I'm sure Scott and myself and Shannon keep rambling on, but we're trying to give you the best action we can. So thanks again for keeping tuned in. We'll be with you all weekend long, all season long. Up next will be the Clash at the Crossbars. That's an East versus West. So it'll be Laser Nut and 4 Wheel Parts sponsored race. Last year is when it flooded at Tornadoes. It was a wild race, so hopefully this year's a little different, but we're going back regardless. It's going to be a good time.
Cody Young crosses the line, 2:27.47 in the 48.62. On camera now, once again, for everyone watching us at home, we've got Daniel Markley in the Pro UTV division.
He's pushing his UTV, part of the 4900 Can-Am class. MBRP sponsored machine. Daniel Markley making a great run.
Brian Caprera takes the green flag in the 99.01.
And that's another 2-seat Campbell IFS machine. He debuted that, I believe, at King of the Hammers this year and took a pretty good tumble in the infield.
Daniel Markley comes to a stop just before the second rock section.
Looks like the right front's leaning in, so he probably popped a ball joint or something in the suspension, so tough break. Window nets down, so he'll be charging from the back of the pack.
Hey, Miles, who is Mike Peters? Don't you know Mike Peters?
I know too many people.
All right, because Mike Peters just said it'll only rain and there'll only be tornadoes if you go to Oklahoma. Only if you go.
Well, you went last year and that's what happened, so we'll see if I can change it.
Dude, there was like crazy rapids flooding action going on.
So we were actually working on the shirt for that event right now because that's the Holly EFI Clash at the Crossbar, right? But I was like, no, it's got to be come hell or high water. So it will have come hell or high water on the T-shirts this year.
Can I make arrangements if I'm going to be there? Can I ride with anyone but Travis? Anyone, please.
That, you know, if you weren't there, you missed out on us being on an island in Oklahoma. Believe it or not, we found the only island in Oklahoma, but we're going back at a little bit different time, and it's the first time we've ever done this in the season. We are doing an East meets West with that event. So in Davis, Oklahoma this year, it is an Eastern Series race, a 4-wheel parts Eastern Series race, and a Laser Nut Western Series race. So we're going to have 150 cars probably out there. It's going to be a good time, a real good time this year.
The busiest driver was not a racer that weekend. It was the Caterpillar guy pulling everybody in.
and then pulling everybody out.
Pulling everybody out. My rental car ended up on a trailer being towed across, just so you know. Yeah, there was no way I was getting a 2-wheel drive. I wanted to try it. Dave said no. Miles just asked if it's a double points race. How that's working is if you are registered for the East and the West Series, your points will count towards both. So in that regard, it is a double points race. Yes, it's a little bit unique that way. But yeah, should be a good time. I'm going to hand Miles' bike back to him now.
Bring your floaties.
And that is in Davis, Oklahoma. That'll be June 15th and 16th. That's Shannon's birthday, so we're going to have a big party for her.
She's turning 29 for the 9th time. Wait, you're figuring it out in your head right now. 29 plus 9. You are, aren't you? Well, it looked like Daniel Markley had mechanical issues out on the course just before the second rock section, so we're taking a moment, clear the race course.
So Brian Caprera did take off, but since the course got a little jammed up, he'll probably take a second stab at it. That was the only stipulation for a second run, is if the course got a red flag.
So while we're waiting for them to check out course and see what's going on out there, I haven't heard anything over my PCI radio, so I think they're just checking things out right now. If I hear differently, I'll let you know. But we have 130 cars out here. This weather, yes, it's windy, you guys, but this weather, you couldn't ask for nicer weather to watch Ultra 4 racing in.
Oh, temperature-wise, it's fantastic.
It's going to be beautiful. And if you are within 2 hours of here, if you're watching this at home on a Friday night going, man, I've always wanted to see that in person, you need to come out tomorrow. It is going to be a show like you haven't seen. We've got some classes. We have almost 30 4,800 Legends cars. That's never happened at a regional race before.
Well, isn't this the second largest attended fan-wise event in the entire series, second only to King of the Hammers?
King of the Hammers, Nationals. So our beginning and the end of our series are first and second, and then yeah, this is our biggest audience race after that. So, and honestly, it's going to be huge tomorrow. I can't even tell you. If you want to meet these drivers, if you want to see these cars in person, and you've been out here, you better come out again. If you haven't been out here, you have no excuse to not be here this weekend. This weather is too perfect.
And like Shannon said, if you live within a couple hours of here, don't be afraid to come on out, because there's plenty of hotel rooms in the area. There's fantastic. I mean, you're not going to go hungry because there's a lot of restaurants.
No, it's a great area, and honestly, even here on site, we've got food here on site. We do have camping here on site, and it is going to be a big party. I mean, it really is. With this many people, and we have a good time out here, and really Ultra 4 is all about the family.
You like how she said it so matter-of-factly? It's going to be a party.
It's going to be a party. Yes. Well, it is. So we're going to start Mother's Day early and celebrate the moms out here, and then everybody can go home and celebrate moms at home on Sunday.
This is our first race for the LaserNut Western Series. Up next is the Davis, Oklahoma Clash at the Crossbars. After that will be the KMC Wheels Battle in the Bluegrass just outside of Bedford, Kentucky. Our next Western LaserNut Series race will be new to us in Ridgecrest, California, August 11th and 12th. And then that heads us into the Nitto National Championships just outside of Reno, Nevada. That's our biggest race next to King of the Hammers, so definitely keep tuned in all season long. We will be on NBC Sports. I'm going to say late summer, early fall. We'll have 12 episodes, so make sure to tune in. Looks like our Hammer King crew alongside the NorCal Racing crews getting everything handled down there. We should be under qualifying once again here very shortly.
So I'm hearing from Dave that our driver out on course is going to be just fine, just a little shook up, and we're about to go live again out here. So everybody's well and good, and we're going back out, and Shannon Campbell is on deck out here.
Raul Gomez takes a green flag to start his qualifying lap in the UTV Pro Division.
Darian actually has a driver stepping in for him. Darian's got a little back issue. He had a little wreck and taking it easy this weekend. So he's got a fill-in driver for Darian, part of the Gomez Brothers Racing. And on deck is the one and only Shannon Campbell.
So can we call him the Gomez Mafia?
I'm okay with that. There's a lot of them.
The Giggling Mafia. They're always laughing. The Gomez Cartel. Oh, that's better, huh?
They're all shaking their heads out. We'll roll with it.
The Gomez Cartel.
So Shannon Campbell's been a busy man the last month or so building Bailey's new car. They've been tuning, testing and tuning, and he is on deck in his single-seat IFS machine.
Nice camera shot right there all by himself. He's getting a countdown to take the green flag. Mr. Campbell himself.
He is our only 3-time King of the Hammers winner.
Also a member of the Off-Road Motorsports Hall of Fame.
And an all-around great guy. When I first got into off-road, he was probably the biggest name in off-road for myself. An idol, a hero of mine, and now we're buddies. Pretty cool to see him out here racing still. And he brings his whole family out here. Waylon and Bailey are racing. They both put down great runs. We'll see what the old man can do.
So you see the drone shop following Campbell around the course right now. It's kind of fun. You get to watch the lines even in a better angle.
I was asking Shannon earlier today, I said, now that you got Bailey's new car going, are you going to start switching to a 2-seat IFS? He said he absolutely loves his single seat, so he's going to keep railing this. Monster Energy Nitto-tired machine.
The number 90 Gomez car crosses the line with a 2:14.78. 2:14.78 in the UTV Pro Division.
So off the line, the 7.779 of Kenneth Goodall, part of the 400 class. And we're watching Shannon Campbell.
Shannon's not looking all that fast. He's not really hanging it out, at least it appears like.
But sometimes smooth is fast, and I think he's still going to throw down a great time.
Well, I'm not saying he's not. Sometimes slower is faster, especially the way the track has gone away this afternoon from earlier today, as he's been taking way different lines. But I don't think this is a fast time lap.
He's heading toward the Metalcloak finish line, taking the checkered flag. Shannon Campbell.
Well, just as we expected, it was fast, smooth, not taking any chances. Shannon Campbell's time across the line, 1:58.47, currently 6th quick.
So a great run for Shannon Campbell. And on deck next is Marcos Gomez. part of the Gomez cartel. And the ugly duck is off. UFO built machine by Joe Thompson, IFS IRS. On screen, you're watching Kenneth Goodall. There goes back to Marcos Gomez.
Yeah,
in that single
the
seat.
Canadians finally let him go, huh? They turned him loose finally.
Yeah, he had a work deal this morning. Was kind of stuck in Canada.
Yeah, they were laughing about it in the pits. His brothers, you know, they're laughing, saying they can keep him and all that kind of stuff. And
Kenneth Goodall heading into the Metalcloak rock section, making that hairpin right to the Cloakwork rock section. So JP and Raul are top 10 material. Do you think Marcos can get up in there? They all have very similar machines. They all have the make it or break it driving style. They're fun to watch. And this is their backyard track.
Kenneth Goodall crosses the line in the 77.79, 218.15 as we're watching Marcos Gomez on camera for our fans back at home. At the dust being kicked up in that Talladega turn. That's got to be silt. That ain't dust. That's silt down there in that corner.
It'll be an interesting day of racing tomorrow for the 2018 Metalcloak Stampede. We'll have multiple heat races to earn your spot in the big show for tomorrow evening. We will be live all day long tomorrow, so be sure to tune in, ultra4racing.com/live.
Tim Priest takes a green flag in the 41.30, but it didn't sound like he was taking it very fast. So I just had my back to the track, so I'm not sure. It didn't sound quite right.
I believe we will go live at 7:45 tomorrow morning. And a little backstory on Tim Priest. That is a junkyard motor they threw together this last week just to get him here to the races. And they're having some tuning issues, but it's on the course. So Marcos Gomez just crossed the finish line with a quick time of
2:12.25. Marcos Gomez in the 44.86 and a 2:12.25.
So Tim Priest on course, moving very slow. Like I said, that's a junkyard motor they threw together. We're not sure if they're having tuning issues or what's going on. And that MBRP sponsored machine.
You know, Miles, it's always cool. The social media is such a neat thing because they're running this blog while it's all going on. You can see the names of people and their comments being made. And this Chris O'Rourke that just popped up is one of our Navy kids that comes and hangs out at our house all the time in Oceanside, California. Just recently retired from the Navy and is back home in Iowa, but a huge Ultra 4 racing fan, and he's kind of like you. He's a mudder. He loves everything off-road, loves tinkering on trucks and stuff, but checking in, and come on, maybe Oklahoma's not all that far from Des Moines, Iowa, man.
The comes over here and helps us commentate from time to time. We touch the whole nation, the whole world here at Ultra 4. It's pretty fun. The Ultra 4 family keeps growing and growing.
We're watching Tim Priest right now making his way around the course. It almost sounds, we're listening, it sounds like a transmission problem. It sounds like it's slipping here and there.
He's going to get a qualifying time, but it's not going to be fast.
Yeah, I mean, it takes off and it revs up hard and it takes off.
Looks like we have 4 or 5 more to go for the KMC qualifier. And be sure to tune in tonight for Ultra 4 Racing, and we'll get everything official. Shannon's been working on it, but nothing's official until everything's done. So give us, a good hour or so after qualifying's done to make everything official. But be sure to tune in to see where you start tomorrow's race for the 2018 Metalcloak Stampede.
So the 4130 of Tim Priest crosses the line with mechanical issues and everything, still scores a time of 3 minutes flat. 3 minutes, 0.1 of a second, 3.10 for Tim Priest. Matt Murphy now taking the green flag in the 5166.
So it's been a pretty smooth run today for the KMC qualifier. Remember, they are stepping up and reimbursing the entry fee for each of the 5 top spots in each class. For the 4900 Can-Am UTV class, the 4500 Rubicon Express modified class, the 4600 Pro Comp stock class, the 4800 G2 Legends class, and then the big boys, the 4400 Unlimited class. So again, thank you KMC for stepping up for the qualifying. And we were talking to Mattson earlier. He's behind Metalcloak. So again, shout out to them for making this possible. This is our 6th year working with them, and it's been a great relationship. So again, thank you Mattson with Metalcloak. They've got a lot of their Jeeps out here. They make a lot of cool parts. Right when you enter, they got a trailer that you can drive on. It'll flex out to show what kind of suspension you can put on your stock Jeep. It's pretty cool to see. So it sounds like I heard another UTV take off. And that could be Lauren Healy's UTV. I'm not sure if he's driving or not. And we're watching Matt Murphy as we speak. Heading down that back section. The sun's still out, the wind's still blowing. Beautiful 80 degrees. Picture perfect weather for this weekend's Metalcloak Stampede here at Prairie City SVRA, just outside of Rancho Cordova, California. So thanks everybody for coming out. Tomorrow's going to be a great day. It's family friendly. Bring your lawn chair, bring an easy up, bring a cooler. Daddy's food vendor is on site, so bring an appetite. It's going to be a long, fun day of racing. So if you're anywhere near the area, come on and check it out, or share the word, ultra4racing.com/live.
Matt Murphy crosses the line as number 5166 with a time of 2:59.04, 2:59.04. And as we're now watching what we think is Lauren Healy, I have a funny feeling by the style of that driving, it's got to be Lauren behind that wheel. UTV side by side or not, it don't matter. That style of that driving has got to be Lauren Healy.
And I see up next is a rerun of Brian Caprera. The course went red on his last qualifying. And once he runs, it looks like he's the last one in line, so we'll wait just a few minutes and then close it. So Brian Caprera could be our last qualifier for today's KMC Hard Charger.
So Brian Tilton's out on the course now in that 48.76, and we've yet to confirm if that's Lauren Healy out there in the UTV, but we're all right watching right now Brian Tilton in the 48.76. Qualifying lap for the 67 UTV, 2:15.66, 2:15.66 by who we believe is Lauren Healy.
Well, he had a great run in that UTV, and remember earlier today in his big car, he was running extremely fast, but took a few too many chances and wadded up the left front of his IFS car. So tough break there, but had a smooth run into the UTV. Off the line is Brian Caprera in his 2C IFS Campbell chassis.
There's Brian Caprera taking the green flag in the 9901. As Miles said, we believe that might be the last car to come to the line for their one lap of qualifying here this afternoon.
So on screen is Brian Caprera, 2C IFS Campbell chassis. And remember, we still have the Fab School Manufacturing Cup. Miller Motorsports is leading, but Campbell chassis are hot on their heels, so with no Miller chassis this weekend, it could shake things up. So that's pretty cool for Fab School for stepping up there.
Brian Tilton crosses the line in the 48.76 with a time of 2:23.28.
And you probably remember the name Brian Tilton. He was on Shifting Gears with Aaron Kaufman earlier this year, a pretty cool show. He came out and raced King of the Hammers with us, and Brian Tilton came to give him a crash course on the Ultra 4. So it's a cool show if you guys turn in. Speaking of shows, make sure you do tune in to the NBC Sports later this year. We'll have 12 of our own episodes on there. Journey to the Hammers on NBC Sports. Brian Caprera bouncing through the Cloakworks Rock section, heading towards that checkered flag. Pushing hard all the way to the finish. Brian Caprera with a pretty smooth run.
And a not too bad lap time, considering he was the very last car on this beat up track. Caprera's lap time, 2:04.54. 2:04.54 for the 9901 of Brian Caprera.
So unofficially, I still believe it's going to be Nick Nelson on top of the box for the KMC Hard Charger today.
Well, as of right now, unofficially, there's our top 10 for the fans at home that are watching. We got Brendan Thompson with a 201.2 in that 10th spot. 9th, Jason Blanton in the 159.2. Rick Waterbury, 8th, 158.7. Shannon Campbell cracks into the top 10 with a 158.5. Raul Gomez with a 158.3 in that 6th spot. Cody Addington, 157.5. Top 5. Waylon Campbell did a great job out there. About 80% of the way through the qualifying field to run a 157 flat. Levi Shirley, another one about mid-pack, 154.7. JP Gomez early in the day, 154.1. And one of our first qualifiers on the track here this afternoon, Nick Nelson, spent the whole day, a long day on the hot seat to see if anybody's going to knock him off, but he hangs on. Nick Nelson to the very end, a 153.6. as our unofficial fast qualifier with the KMC Wheels Fast Hard Charger Award.
So again, thank you everybody back at home for tuning in, everybody here on site for keeping on. We will be back live tomorrow morning, 7:45. So be sure to tune in, ultra4racing.com/live. Again, if you want to get all the official results of today's KMC qualifier, be sure to tune in to ultra4racing.com. We'll update that as soon as we can, but give us about an hour or so, and that'll set us up for tomorrow's racing for the 2018 Metalcloak Stampede. I'm Miles Hasselquist alongside of Scott Rain and Shannon Welch. It's been a great day. It's been a long day, and tomorrow's the big day. So Scott, Shannon, thanks again. We'll see you guys in the morning, 7:45 sharp.